Hello, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk Football. My name is John Halpin, alongside Chris Palmer, and alongside our guest today, Kevon. How you doing, my brother?
Kevin, welcome back, buddy.
Good. Happy to be here.
Now, for those of you who haven't seen, Kev joined us last year for talking Saints, and we're going to be talking plenty of Saints today. But Kev, thank you so much for joining us this week. We're so happy to have you, man.
It's a pleasure. Every time I get to join and talk football with a bunch of football fanatics, I feel more at home.
That's
how we like you to feel, man.
And there's plenty to talk about this week because we had an exciting week 1 and we have a lot of exciting games for week 2. So let's get started. Let's just go right into the recap of last week, starting with the first game of the season, the Dallas Cowboys against the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles coming away with the win 24-20, but it was a lot closer of a game than people expected. Kev, what were your thoughts on that game?
As I was watching the game, I already came into the game expecting for, the Cowboys to hit the dirt. Not saying that, I have anything against the Cowboys, but, I have a lot against Cowboys fans. There's a stigmatism to them, and they got what they deserved. Being from New York, they got what they deserved, But it was closer than you think. When you saw the game, you seen CeeDee Lamb kind of take off. You've seen a couple of missed plays that could have been for extra yards with Dak at the helm. But then again, you've seen the comfortability that Jalen Hurts, exudes. He got exactly what he wanted to get done. He got the work on the ground. He had the air covered, and the defense played exceptionally well. Even though they did give up a couple points on both sides, I felt like it was a good game to open the season.
Very well said. CP, what were your thoughts on that game?
I'll say one word: Spitgate. You can't have a week 1 without a little controversy, right? You always think that an Eagles-Cowboys game is going to be chippy, but you don't think it was going to be like that. Within the first 19 seconds, someone was carted off the field with a big injury, and someone was ejected. Not just someone, though.
Yes.
It was Jalen Carter. And that ejection opened up the offense for Dallas. It's the only reason why they were able to stay in that game is because they didn't have him on the field. Now, I'm sorry, you don't spit on someone, regardless of who did what first. That's just not something you do. I've always known that as like a sheer sign of disrespect.
Assault in New York.
That's assault in New York. You're not wrong. Mm-hmm. That's a conversation here. That's a conversation.
That's fighting words, right?
It
there.
was Dukes. That's fighting words in a lot of places, and pretty similar to a football field. You just don't spit on someone. But after that happened, it was an extremely physical game and very entertaining. It was good TV.
It was a lot better than I expected it to be. Very entertaining game. I do have a little bit of concern with the Eagles' defense because the Cowboys were really able to kind of move down the field in the first half pretty effectively. Dak was really attacking the corners a lot, and they seemed to, like, outside the numbers, kind of struggled to kind of keep CD and Pickens in check. But as the game went on, they kind of made that defensive adjustment and then really tightened up there. So I'm glad that Philly was able to come away with the win. I was really impressed with Jalen Hurts. Played an amazing game. But man, CD, if you're going to be paid the big boy bucks, you got to make those big boy catches, and especially late in games.
Especially when those big boy catches are fundamental. Those are fundamental catches. They weren't even hard catches.
The diving one,
they're in the chest. You got to. Diving one, I understand. That's a desperation one. But the other 3, they're in your hands, they're in your chest. You extend your arm and you make a run for it. Those are, you have, as a star, like you said, you have to make those catches, especially if you want to argue for a huge contract.
Yeah, or top 5 wide receiver.
You want to be in that conversation, you got to make those catches actively.
And that's well said, because again, it's like, look, if you want to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk, got to catch the catch.
You got to prove it. You got to prove it.
Exactly. So that was the first game of the season. What a great game. Friday, we had a game in Brazil, the Kansas City Chiefs against the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Chargers coming away victorious 27-21, but the Chargers took the lead and they never held back. They never looked back. Palma, you called this one. What were your thoughts on this?
Justin Herbert got some swagger. My man's got some swagger on the field this year. I remember when we first saw Justin Herbert come into the league, we said that there was some magic in the Chargers. And then they kind of hit cloud 9 and they started falling back down to earth. And then we realized their big problem was They didn't have a 2-minute game. Along comes Jim Harbaugh. Inside that comes a 2-minute game.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've had a full off season with camp, and the energy is back up in LA. Justin Herbert is moving like he is 6'6" and ready to go now again. He's got his swagger back, and it's fun to watch.
Man, Kev, what were your thoughts on that game?
Hey, just like Chris said, I love, Justin Herbert. Ever since I've seen him, he just seems like a well endowed quarterback. If you want to see something traditional, a good, and with Jim on the helm, they have a better O line this year. Did you not see that he's tall, but being that tall and not having to move at all to hit Keenan Allen down the field, just like that, it feels like back in the day. They lost, Eckler, which their running did kind of suffer a little bit. They lost Mike Williams because they had the two-man, wide receiver crew. But it looked great. It looked great, and they kept Patrick at bay. And but then again, I know you watched it just like me. Did that look like old Patrick Mahomes? He looked like he was getting his engine started, but somehow they quelled him very early. They kept the lead on, and he didn't get a chance to really do another shovel pass. Because after a while, when he starts running out of the pocket and you see a wide open receiver down the field for no apparent reason, then you realize that, you know what, we have old Patrick back in the helm. But Brazil had a good game to watch that game.
Yeah, I'm glad the people of Brazil really had a great game to watch. This was one of those games where it's like, look, the Chargers finally closed out a game. Who would have thought?
Yeah, yes.
Who would have thought that they finally closed out a game? I mean, hell, Justin Herbert with Madison Beer, I mean, maybe good things happen. But I will say, there are, again, a lot of concerns with the Chiefs. Again, if I told you that they only ran the ball with their halfbacks 11 times, that's a big
Makes
concern.
sense.
That's a big concern.
But it makes sense.
And they're really expecting Patrick Mahomes to just save them out of games. He threw 49 times that game. You can't rely on just Patrick Mahomes because, CP, just like you and I said last week, it's a complete team sport. And Friday night, the Chargers were the better team.
100%. Like I was saying last week, this is becoming a culture thing. People are moving away from the 1-2 combo where it's just I have a good enough quarterback and he has one weapon. That is no longer acceptable in this league. So Kansas City, you have 1 week to learn that and figure it out going into next week when you have your rematch.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy, let's not overstep the foul play that the voodoo on the field. Somebody said a little hex because I keep seeing online that Travis Kelce has something against Xavier Worthy. I don't know.
That was a wild hit. Call it an accidental collision. Thank you. I'm glad you saw it because I saw it too. You saw the shoulder dip. The shoulder dip happened.
Wasn't even looking. Xavier wasn't looking, but Travis was cutting across the field, and he had clear vision that Xavier
the shoulder dip happened for sure. And hit him square in the chest. You don't want to call it deliberate because they're wearing the same uniform, right? And you can't insinuate what is happening, who's thinking what at the time. But outside looking in, you look at the way the body is moving. That shoulder looked like it was aimed at that man's chest.
Yeah.
In fast motion, in slow motion, in every angle you can find, that shoulder is aimed at that man's chest.
Yeah, and Xavier Worthy's going to be out for he was week to week. Now he's day to day, so we'll have to keep an eye on his status going forward. But the wide receivers in Kansas City, that's going to be an issue of concern going forward. So Kansas City not looking like the juggernaut right out the gate, which, I mean, again, opens up the rest of the AFC. And there's a lot of really good teams in the AFC. I want to move on to Sunday's slate of games. Let's move to Indianapolis, where the Indianapolis Colts blew out the Miami Dolphins 33-8. Danny Dimes dropping dimes on the Dolphins defense. CP, say it. I want to see. What do you got to say?
Indiana Jones has arrived. Now listen, Everyone watched him suffer in New York. Halpin, you and I have kind of debated about him. I knew but we both knew collectively he was not a fit in New York. What if there's a real chance that he's a fit in Indiana?
It's possible.
What if he balls out there?
Well, he balled out on Sunday, man. He looked like he belonged.
Sunday was wild.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like he fit in there. Like, off the jump, it looked like he fit in. That was a fun game to watch from Daniel Jones.
Kev, what were your thoughts on that one?
Just like CP said, I respect the fact that, you could call it like a miracle story, like Sam Darnold escaped the Jets. they just seem to be escaping. They never, the New York teams picking good people, kind of like oppressing them. It's oppression. It's just take your beating like a man, and when you get traded, hopefully you didn't get battered too bad, and you can excel elsewhere. If you go to New York, just know you're there for the long haul. But after you leave, I think, like I said, he just shined. All the things that you've seen him do in New York, the run, the tough, like he feels like he's just lowering his shoulder. He's playing good football, and when you like the team that you're on, it shows. He's happy, he's celebrating, and it's not just for the victory. He just, even in the offseason, you just seen him do a lot more work, having New York think, what happened?
Well, it also helps when you have an actual offensive line creating a pocket that's good enough to have a picture taken of you to make it actually like a textbook pocket.
Thank you.
I don't think he's ever experienced a pocket that good in his life.
Free at last.
And you know what I'm saying? And he got it all game.
The ball.
What? Right, he had 4 versus a second and a half. It's like he's not running for his life. Now, keep in mind, there were glimpses when the Giants did set a pocket and this man could set his hips and throw. Dude's got an arm and dude is accurate.
Yes.
So now you give that a 4-quarter stretch of consistent offensive line play, you're going to have a Daniel Jones that can win you some games.
Jonathan Taylor, too.
Jonathan Taylor.
I like Jonathan Taylor that I saw on Sunday. Like, I'm thinking, I'm not saying running back of the season.
Halpin's always had a soft spot for Jonathan Taylor.
He's loose. He's loose now.
Honestly, I respect Jonathan Taylor, but man, it's like he had the one good year, and then it's like from there he just hasn't been able to replicate it since then.
Yeah.
But I do want him to be successful, and if he can find success under Shane Steichen's system with Daniel Jones, that AFC South is not, that's up for grabs, and the Colts are right in the mix there. I just want to flip it over to one sec to the Dolphins. Tua looked lost. He had a lot of ugly interceptions, an ugly fumble, and the Dolphins did not look like they belonged on the same field as the Colts, which is crazy to think. Like 2 years ago, it would have been like Dolphins blew them out, right? But hey,
yes,
it's crazy how time flies in the NFL, but the Dolphins did not look good on Sunday.
They really did not look ready. And from what I'm seeing, there's already buzz that the Steelers and Miami are in talks for a Tyreek Hill trade. Listen, I'm not... I'm just saying, do we need anybody else? Yes. We need a lot of people. we need a lot. We need a lot. There's a lot of things we need. I don't know that we need another $30 million wide receiver, but
you got the money though. At least you have the money to decide whether or not you could make the trade. We don't have.
Correct.
We don't have.
At least we could be on that phone call.
Yes, but just to go off what John said, Tua's weak side got exploited. It's like he had no awareness at the rush that was happening, and it was clear as day. He was just running for his life. It seemed like he was Russell Wilson.
Oof.
And little shades of Russell Wilson there, just running for his life. And like I said, hopefully next week he snaps back into it because we don't want him to get injured again.
No, but this is a good way to do it. Definitely a good way to do it. Play with this level.
The Dolphins play the Patriots next week, so hopefully that could be a good get-right game for them. It's after game one, it did not look too promising for the Dolphins. I want to move on to CP. You mentioned the Steelers. And the Steelers had a great game against the Jets this past week. Aaron Rodgers beating his former team 34-32, threw for 4 touchdowns. It was actually the highest scoring game of the week until the Sunday night game. But that was a great game between both teams. And I know you and I, we were talking during that game. You were sweating. I know you were sweating during that game.
There's a lot. There's a lot to unpack here. There really is, and I don't want to spend too long on this game, but yes, it was totally entertaining. One of the best Steelers offensive games I've seen in a very long time through the air. With that being said, 54 yards rushing and a defense that's supposed to be poised as an all-time team, letting up almost 300 yards, 700 yards of all-purpose yards on that defense, 700 yards? No, I'm sorry. If it wasn't for one special teams play that caused a 14-point turnaround and about 5 consecutive penalties by the Jets in the fourth quarter, we would have lost that game. I said it to a Jet fan today, and I can confidently say this as a Steelers fan. If that fumble did not happen, we would have lost that game by 14.
It's very possible.
But take that, again, it was 1 week. Aaron Rodgers, is this the beginning of your siren song where you fucking lure everybody in, and then when shit goes wrong, you start blaming people? Consider me impressed for week 1. I'm not falling for it. This is Aaron Rodgers with the wind at his back. Mm-hmm. We've all seen this before. When things go right for him, he's on the top of the world. That other shoe's going to drop at some point in Pittsburgh. That's the Aaron Rodgers I want to see. So again, consider me impressed for week 1. I'm still very vigilant as to who Aaron Rodgers is.
That's true. You guys got Aaron Rodgers off the Percocet. That's what they're saying.
Yo, we got my knee back. Listen, you want to throw the lights out with some Perk 30s in your pocket all year? I don't give a fuck. You know?
But I agree. This was on the line. It was closer than you think. Yes, it ends up that they both played well on both sides of the field. But those penalties had New York shitting bricks. Excuse my language. Because
curse, don't worry.
Because it seems like, why would you go for, you can kind of say 2 risky plays where you could have just kicked the field goal, took the points, become competitive. What about that missed field?
Right.
I feel like now and that happened a lot on Sunday for different teams on different scenarios. Mm-hmm. And it just seems like when you have to count the points at the end of the game, you see, you shouldn't have jumped the line. You shouldn't have had this many penalties. So it's more of discipline now. Mm-hmm. Yes, the Jets looked surprisingly better than ever. I'm not gonna lie. It was a fun game on both sides. Justin Fields seems like this is the team for him.
That part.
He doesn't seem like that young, reckless kid that he was before. Somebody's in his ear. Somebody gave him that lesson that he needed to hear, and he is ready to kill this season. I'm excited for both your team and the Jets. Hopefully, everything continues to go. We don't hear another scandal. We don't hear another injury. We don't want to hear all the bullshit. We just want to hear clean football.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That is right.
That was well said, Kev, and well said, CP. The only brief thing I'll say, because I agree with all your points there, got to give a shout out to Jalen Ramsey for the cleanest tackle I've seen on Sunday.
My God, that was one of the cleanest tackles I've seen in years.
That was, just on that tackle alone, that was proved that it's like, okay, he's got that Steeler mentality. Like, whatever Mike Tomlin is selling to him, it resonated. Mm-hmm. And that was...
Well, whatever happened in Miami, he totally revived himself. He's big. I didn't realize how he put his weight up since being in Miami. Oh, yeah. Holy shit. He made... Who did he hit? Garrett? He made Garrett Wilson look like a child. Look like an absolute child. That was one of the cleanest hits I've seen in years.
It was a thing of beauty, and I'm excited for both the Steelers in the long term in the second half of the season, but I think for the Jets, look, the best thing for them this season, no expectations. So whatever happens, happens. And I think that most Jets fans can walk away from this game, even though it's a loss, pretty optimistic for the future.
I would hope
so.
And
I'm excited to see what the Jets bring for the rest of the season.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Jacksonville, where the Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars had a game down in Duval where the Jags beat the Panthers 26-10. I'm glad to see that the Jags offense was clicking because getting their new head coach Liam Cohn from Tampa, he's an offensive guy. It was nice to see them, put points on the board. Brian Thomas still looks like a stud, but the Bryce Young, it looked like he did not follow suit from the back end of last year into this year. He looked lost. He looked very, very lost. I know, Kev, for you, being a division rival, that's a good look for, at least for the
Of
Saints to
course,
be like, well, Panthers ain't looking too good.
you're doing what we want you to do. Be yourself. Understand? They had inclement weather that they had to pause the game
Oh yeah.
significantly longer than they wanted to, and I could think that had a huge play in the matter. But then again, I rewatched it a couple times after the game was over, and I felt as if that, just like you said, Bryce Young, this is signs of what you did that got you benched. What is going on? You know, in Carolina, that you guys can't stick with a definite play. And yes, I may be a little bit too harsh on all these. He's not a rookie anymore.
Hmm.
He's not a rookie anymore. Let's just be
Yeah.
honest. He's not a rookie anymore, and the rookies that are coming in the league look more professional than the seasoned vets. There got to be something done in the offseason for some of these guys, including my Saints, because like I said, we're gonna get there, but it just doesn't seem as if that they have the same that dog mindset that you would expect a hungry quarterback to. You're gonna lose a position if you're gonna keep playing like that, and that goes for every team in
Hmm.
the league. If we're not seeing what we're expecting out of you, and we're paying you to win, not to be here, not to exist, we can't just sit in the sidelines and just coast anymore. We want to see some production.
Hmm.
So just like I said, the Jags did win. Trevor played decent. I watched it. There was a couple turnovers. Travis Etienne got going, but not as well as how he used to. But let's just see. Good win for the Jags. But hey, Carolina, keep doing what you're doing.
Oh man, CP, what were your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, like you said, a slow start for Carolina. I said I'm going to keep my eye on Carolina this year. I definitely still am. I have a soft spot for the Panthers. I have a soft spot for Chuba Hubbard. I think he really is a diamond in the rough running back. But Bryce Young, man, you can't come into this league as a clean slate. Looked at the end of last year, you showed glimpses of at least the ability to educate and better yourself. From then to now, you should have been accelerating yourself in that way, in bettering yourself and becoming a student of the game. It did not look like that in week one. Now again, it's only 1 week, and call it jitters, call it whatever you want. Like you said, Kev, you are not a rookie anymore. You know what this league is about. You know what this league is about now. That's why last week we were saying there's a bunch of these quarterbacks that need to show something now, and Bryce Young is on his way to be in that conversation. There's a couple of quarterbacks that are in that conversation now: Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, a couple other quarterbacks. Spencer Rattler, have Bryce Young, Michael Penix. They're all in that conversation next year if they don't do anything this year. If that makes sense.
Absolutely, it does. They got to prove that they belong.
Did you have one more chance that you belong here?
For your bets, we're gonna look, or as
You're gonna lose your job.
they should look to replace these guys. Stop settling for less.
Hmm. As that's the thing too, is like, as in the NFL, it's like a lot of owners and a lot of GMs are not patient, and they want
No.
to see their team succeed, and they want to see it now. But the hard reality is, not every team is going to, and not every player is going to. And it's unfortunate that, again, he had glimpses of a really good play last year, and at least from week one, and it's just week one, right? But it looked like a regression rather than a progression.
Absolutely, he regressed.
Yep.
But I want to move on to the Big Easy, where we mentioned the Saints, but the Saints played the Cardinals last week, and the Cardinals beat the Saints 20-13. Kev, I'll just give you the floor, man. What were your thoughts?
It feels as if that we have lost. I was talking to Chris. We've lost our identity after, and yeah, you can say that we had a couple huge changes of staffing, but we don't even use certain key players anymore. I was talking to Chris. I said, where was Taysom Hill at all? Where was any of the flea flickers, get the Camara down the field, the options, the relief.
Mhm.
There's no tight end. There's no safety check down. I don't even care if Jawan Johnson's on the field. He can do 5 catches for 4 yards, for 10 yards, 15 yards. But then at the end of the day, when when your back's against the wall and your non-rookie quarterback has his job on the line and he makes a good ball and it's just to tie it, not even to win the game. and we're not even in. This is our season opener, and you're gonna drop it. It just seems like all the penalties just now it adds weight. Now you can't even make regular plays where you're supposed to be able to just have safety checkdowns. It seems like Spencer Rattler, I'm going to be real, he's not the guy. He looked better than he did last season. But we're going up against the Cardinals now. I don't want to speak into next. We're going to speak about it next week. We're going to go up against the 49ers, which is a lot tougher team. We couldn't even control Kyler Murray for scrambling. It seems like we don't have the defensive pressure. You know, Chase Young is injured again. We're
Forgot about
paying him.
Doesn't shock me a bit.
You know, what's new? Who else is gonna get injured? Now I'm just playing the who else is gonna get injured next? Is Kamara gonna get injured next? Is Chris Olave gonna get concussed and taken out the game?
Probably.
Again? Is Rashid Shaheed's gonna turf toe? We're asking more of our receivers because nothing comes easy. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't seem like we have the conditioning staff to prevent the injuries either. We were riddled with injuries for the last 2-3 seasons. I'm not trying to say that it's a play because it's bad play. I can go on for a long time and I can complain about our GM and how we didn't make any moves or changes to our offensive game at all. But I'm gonna give him a break. It's the first week. We have compared to the competition, compared to the Bucks, compared to the Falcons, that I've witnessed these guys just have their success come by hard work, not by the roster that's given to them. Mm-hmm. That's when you look back and you look at your team and you say it's not good enough. You guys aren't good enough right now, and the projection that we're going to win 2 or 3 games for the whole season seems a little right. If we couldn't close out on an easy, it wasn't easy, but a semi-moderately dealable game, which was the Cardinals. So
CP, and that was well said, Kevin. We're gonna get in more into the Saints 49ers matchup later on. But CP, what were your thoughts on this game?
Like I was just saying before, Kyler Murray is one of those quarterbacks that need to show something now. He kind of showed me something this game that he can still run around. He's still very athletic. The defense on Arizona is starting to show themselves a little bit, but I think this was more at the fault of the Saints than it was at the skill level of Arizona, which is unfortunate because I like Kyler Murray and I like Marvin Harrison Jr. and I like James Conner. I like the build set of Arizona, but I don't think they are the team. Like you said, it was a winnable game for the Saints. It was absolutely a winnable game. Any other team walks into that Arizona team and they're probably lumping them up pretty well. And by all rights, someone get Chris Olave out of the NFL before he dies on the field. And I'm really not trying to be mean. For some reason, people have taken a liking to just shortening his career every time he gets physical. I don't know. I don't remember the name of the kid who made this hit this last week on him, but lawn chaired him something fierce in the backfield. Again, clean hit, not a dirty hit, not a dirty tackle, but again, it's who took it. Chris Olave took another blockbuster hit. Mm-hmm. There is life after this sport. Someone needs to tell him that there is life after this sport, or this sport is going to take way too much from him. And that is a genuine concern with Chris Olave moving forward.
I absolutely agree. And again, we're going to get more into the Saints and a lot into their struggles of just in general. But again, this was a winnable game, even to the very end. And I was very surprised that with just a few seconds left on the clock, they could have had it. But it's just indicative of the Saints as a franchise right now, where it's like they kind of did this to themselves. And it's not, not that they didn't want to be successful and not that they didn't try, but man, it's going to be a long season for the Saints going forward. But the Saints aren't alone, because it might also be a long season for the Giants as well. Because on Sunday, the Giants played the Commanders, and Washington beat the Giants 21. The Giants did not even score a touchdown. At least the Saints scored a touchdown, right? Giants didn't even score a touchdown.
Silver linings in all things, I guess, right?
And
at least you got the end zone.
Yeah.
Rush tried to get in the end zone. It just didn't work out for him.
Just to piggyback what you just said, the Giants are giving old Giants again. This is like, this doesn't seem like it's unnatural, but I've never seen a team with more money with key players just not succeed. I don't know what to say. It's got to be a curse now. That has to be a curse because who did we get? That wasn't Russell. That was somebody else.
That was hustle.
Let's just be honest. That was somebody else because Russell does not even look like that on his off season.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to get on the field and to be scrambling to just, and there was no answer to that. They have that rookie Scatabo
Mm-hmm.
that
Dog.
He looked like he can, he's a big strong back, and if they go ahead and incorporate him like how they did with Saquon, they could try to do something, but give Russell some relief. Give Russell some relief because I don't want to see Russell have, a season-ending retirement party instead of just making it to the playoffs. Just surviving the season.
Giants in the playoffs. What?
I know I'm saying I'm a lot, but
We made bold predictions last week, mate.
That's a bold one.
who knows? They can heat up. They can heat up.
With what?
Oh shit.
Oh my god! I think the Giants fans agree when they've seen enough already. It's been 1 week, and I think they've seen enough. They want Jackson Dart. They're ready to go headfirst into this rebuild. Cam Scatabo. I think it took 1 week for people to confirm that he's the most physical player on the field when he's playing.
Consistently.
Mm-hmm.
He will be the most physical player on the field when the Giants play, and that is great. He needs to control it. I understand you're a rookie, you're trying to make a name for yourself, and the physical one is a cool name. Do not gas yourself out. It's a game of attrition. If you see someone that you can put in the dirt, it's football. Play football.
With the dirt.
But when you have 4 people surrounding you, you do not need to hit all 4 of them. Hit one, make a lane, and keep going. Not find someone else to hit. I get it. It's part of the game. But you gotta control yourself a little bit. That pure emotion is going to be your downfall at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's controlled emotion and controlled chaos throughout. But he could wind up being a player to build a franchise around if he molds well with Jackson Dart, because that is clearly the future quarterback.
I have heard so much faith in Jackson Dart from Giants fans, and this kid hasn't even set foot on the field. But they have
Hasn't even played a snap yet.
Giants fans have so much faith in Jackson Dart, but I mean it's only inevitable when he does hit the field at some point this season. But tell me if you guys have heard this before. The Giants' offensive line is horrible.
It's non-existent.
We've talked about this is the 5th year we're doing this podcast, and for probably the last decade, their offensive line has been horrible. And so I feel bad that when Jackson Dart does come to play, he is going to play behind a bad offensive line, and he is going to get eaten alive. And so I think that's for Giants fans, it's temper expectations for Jackson Dart because it's look, you don't want to throw him to the wolves as soon as possible, right? And it sucks to see because it's going to be a lot of ugly football going forward. I mean, you got the Cowboys next week. Cowboys are, that's a tough matchup for the Giants. They're not a good team, but the Cowboys know how to play against the Giants.
Yeah.
And then after that, then they play the Chiefs. So, so look, the season's not going to start off on the right foot. Giants will probably go 0-4, 0-5 at some point. That's when Jackson Dart's going to come in. We'll probably see him in October, and Russell Wilson's going to be trick-or-treating at that point in time.
Yeah.
But I want to move on to the NFC South, where we had a really nice battle between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons, and the Bucs won 20-20, but the Atlanta had a chance to tie, but Young-Ho Koo, God bless him, man, he missed that field goal to send it to overtime. But, man, the Falcons played very well, and I was very surprised. Kev, these are your 2 division rivals. What'd you see out of this game?
I seen Michael Penix Jr. be exactly what Rattler should be. I seen a man that was controlled chaos, just like Chris said. It's even though there is no options, I have a quarterback mindset, and I have legs that work, and I'm going to go ahead and use them. And I've seen time and time again, he made the effort to make the call on the fly and get the extra couple yards or get the ball down the field. It just showed that, he can be that 1-2 punch with Bijan because Bijan was active. But Bijan didn't seem like it was their only They had more than a one-track mind, is what I'm saying. For my rivals to show that they have more than one look, that's scary to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I'm upset about with the Saints. We only have one look. And that's what makes a quarterback or a football team or football organization, that they can go ahead and be adaptive. That's how the Chiefs won so many times. And they're using that as a way to adapt to what the newer teams can go ahead and produce. It's a running league now, and if you're not able to be mobile, or you don't have an offensive line like a stone wall, then you got to adapt. Great game. I mean, they did lose, but it wasn't a loss to me.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that could have been up in the air.
It was a moral victory.
Yes.
CP, what were your thoughts on that one? Very, very well said, Kev.
I 100% agree with you. I think Michael Penix showed really good maturity from last year to this year. I said it last year that I think the Falcons were testing the waters at really becoming they had the vision of becoming a very dominant zone running offense. Showed again week 1 that their zone run is great. Kyle Pitts finally showed himself.
See?
Finally showed himself. Michael Penix matured and he learned it. It's fun. But again, coming off the leg of Young Hoku, that is not something you see every day. Him missing an under 50-yard field goal, that is almost unheard of. I hope that doesn't shake him as a kicker, because he is one of the best kickers in this league right now. He is dead balls accurate. He can hit just about anywhere from hash line to hash line. But it was a fundamental kick. You got to make those. At the end of the day, you have to make those. But to go 10 rounds with a Buccaneers team that is looking like they're going full speed for the next championship run, that's saying a lot from last year to this year for Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Take it again, like we like to say, there's no moral victories in the NFL, but this was a good loss for Atlanta. This was a good loss, just like the Jets losing was a good loss for them. Mm-hmm. Be proud of the game you played because of who you played against.
Absolutely. That was well said, gentlemen. That was very well said. It's funny you say that it ended on, again, the missed kick, too, because that's kind of how this next game ended, too, in Cleveland. When the Bengals played the Browns, Bengals won 17-16, but the Browns missed a field goal at the end that could have won them the game. This was a tight game, but man, that Browns defense locked up the Bengals in the second half. I think they only had 7 yards of offense.
Oh my God.
Of offense, like the in that second half. It was, I mean, credit to the Bengals defense for keeping it low scoring too, because we thought that their defense would be pretty bad, but this was a physical AFC North rivalry game. And so, CP, I want to ask you your thoughts on this game.
Take everything from each other. Go ahead, you two. That's all I got to say. But I did see one play. Myles Garrett. He was lined up on the end, and he ran like a hitch with the nose guard.
I know the play you're talking about.
Came in 100% untouched and almost took Joe Burrow's head clean off of his shoulders. I feel for Joe Burrow. I said it I said it last week. I'm going to continue. This is going to be the hardest season of his career. He is going to be running for his life all year. Good win, but at what cost? Because that hit took a lot out of him, and I know it.
Kev, what were your thoughts on this game?
Just to piggyback, 3 sacks back to back. Myles Garrett had the Browns defense had a day. They locked in. At first, yes, Burrow was balling out. Jamar Chase had a couple, Jamar Chase catches, but second half, that was a whole different team. Mm-hmm. They locked in and little to no yards at all. And then, like I said, Flacco played well too. Mm-hmm. Flacco played pretty well, given his age, but he was slinging it. Yes, he had an interception, but that's the come because you're taking risks. And I think I remember that interception was a ricochet.
It was
somehow. So I don't even count that really as an inaccurate ball. So I feel like on both sides, it's going to be a tough season, but they both played moderately well for a good organizations that they are. But just like Chris said, please save Burrow's life.
Gotta protect this man, dude.
He's a national treasure.
They really do need to protect him. It's just been a constant theme ever since they got Joe Burrow, right? They just can't seem to get the offensive line right. And it doesn't help that you have basically a Hall of Fame player in Myles Garrett just feasting on him every like twice a year. I just hope that for the Bengals, like for their sake, they just need to tighten up. They got to tighten up on offense. They got to tighten up on the offensive line, and they got to tighten up on defense as well. For the Browns, not only did they have one ricochet interception, they had two that game. How many times do you see two in the same game? That's crazy. But
Brutal.
I think that for both teams, they match up well against each other because this is again, it's the Ohio Bowl every time. It's for the Bengals, at least they came out with a win, and it's not a slow start to the season. But it's just week one. We got 16 more weeks of regular season left. So again, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
That's right.
Let's move to New England, where Geno Smith and the Raiders balling out in New England, beating the Mike Vrabel's Patriots 20-13. Damn, Pete Carroll, man, he looks good in a Raiders uniform. He looks good as that Raiders head coach, man. He just got that personality to him, that fiery personality. And man, Geno, what have thought Geno just? Oh man, this was interesting. Kev, let me ask you this one. Like, what does Geno eat every Sunday that like lets him just put on the Superman cape and just ball?
Gotta be ribs. Gotta be baby back ribs. Gotta be baby back ribs because I don't know that he has that dog in him. I thought. Remember, they escaped the camp, the execution camp that is New York.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what size, green or blue, and they just excel.
Mm-hmm.
Like. Yes, Seattle. I seen him perform. He took the spot over Russell, and he looked good. But you have a little upsets in the Raiders in Las Vegas with Jacoby Myers, and the controversy that is he wants a trade.
Mm-hmm.
But would you want to now after the performance that you've seen? Like I think if it was up to him, stick it out with Geno. Geno looks like he's looking. He's not smiling. You know that 1,000-yard stare that Geno has.
Mm-hmm.
He's
locked
ready
in.
to win. He's ready to win.
He's slinging it
Not
too.
whatever. Exactly. He's feeling it. So I love the game. I play fantasy, so I thought that Ramon J. Stevenson was gonna try to do something. I didn't see him. I know you saw. I didn't see him.
I didn't.
So the Patriots had a huge run with Tom. I don't care if they win or lose, but I feel as if that they have a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't too far out their grasp, but eventually it was.
Very well said. CP, what were your thoughts on this one?
I enjoyed watching the highlights of this game, man. It was fun to watch. The Patriots, this was a Mike Vrabel special. It was just, we're going to send the house and we're going to see what happens. But on the other end, I have to give my hat off to Ashton Genty. Now, the stats, you look at his stats, he did not do much in terms of rushing the ball up the field, right? Only had a couple of yards and a touchdown. I think he actually finished with -2 yards and a touchdown or something along those lines. But the reason why I'm giving him a shout out is because he had 8 sequences in which he picked up an untouched blitzing backer, allowing Geno Smith to throw the ball downfield. The vision that this kid showed to pick up blitzing linebackers and stuff blitzes at the line of scrimmage so the quarterback could have that time. He knows his game is off right now. He can't run the ball. But I'm still going to be that teammate that does his job every time. And for a rookie to have 8 sequences of blitzing backers, and I sent it to you, Halpin, actually, of all the blocks he picked up. Kevin, I will send it to you when we get off. It is impressive to watch because of he is stepping up in the pocket and just creating contact and allowing that extra second for Geno Smith to step up in the pocket or move or do whatever he has to do. And that's what led to those unbelievable passes that Geno was making. So my hat's off to Ashton Genty for allowing Geno Smith the opportunity to extend the play and look as good as he did. He helped that team look good, even though his stats may not have backed that statement, if that makes sense.
It's hard to, again, put into the stat sheet because not every stat, they don't track everything. 21st century, even though we have high technology and everything, but so be it. But there's something to be said about selfless football. And selfless football and selfless players win games because it's a team sport. And when I'm not big into college football, I know you showed me some college football, and you showed me Ashton Genty last year when he was going off, and I really liked what he had. I was really impressed with him. And for him to immediately come into the NFL and make an impact on his team and not necessarily care about the stats, but care about, look, we're going to win this together. That's football. That's what football is all about.
Correct.
It's a team sport, and I want to see him be successful in this league. And look, if the Raiders are good, it really spices up this league because the Raiders have not been good for a long time. But man, they might just be a team that's just looking to have fun, and that's some good football right there.
That's when it's good for football.
Yep.
Is when the Raiders are good, or they're playing well and it's entertaining. It's good for football. They're one of those few teams where you don't have to necessarily win, but as long as you play tough, people will watch.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But let's move to Seattle. Gino's old team where the 49ers came to play the Seahawks. 49ers came away victorious 17-13, but man, this was a very close slugfest between these two teams. Brock Purdy had a couple interceptions, there were some missed field goals and stuff like that, and Seahawks had a chance to win it at the end. But Sam Darnold kind of bumped it into his own lineman and fumbled the ball right at the very end. But this was a very, very physical game of football. So, Kev, I want to ask you, what were your thoughts on this one?
Just like you said, I'm a Sam Darnold's fan. I like Sam. Sam is a gritty, take your hits, gonna rush, gonna lower my shoulder, but I also have a decent, accurate arm that he can make things happen when things are falling through because he's used to the chaos. He was born in the chaos. So I think that they played really well versus the 49ers, even though that the 49ers are still not the same 49ers that we are used to, especially after Kittle got injured in the beginning of the game. After his first touchdown, he got out. But I feel like it was a fair struggle between both teams, and let's just say Sam would have brought them to the victory if he did not fumble at the end to end it off. I think that they have a lot of work to do on both sides, and hopefully, the injuries that Seattle has put Niners through. I'm not gonna wish any injury on anybody, but let's just hope that it's better for the Saints next week because that.
And CP, what were your thoughts on this one?
I always love to see just teams getting ready to have a fist fight, whether the score is high, whether the score is low. As long as it's not a blowout, that's entertaining TV for me. Sam Darnold, I hope you find a home somewhere. I personally thought it was Minnesota.
See ya. Yes.
I don't know if it's Seattle. I don't know if it's Seattle. I was one of the advocates to keep you in Minnesota. So there's going to be a lot of cohesiveness that needs to be shown in Seattle for me to say this can be your home.
Yeah. Only thing I'll say about Sam Darnold, I think he falls into the same camp as you said earlier, CP, where it's like there's quarterbacks that need to prove it. And I think Sam Darnold falls into that because it's like, look, he had a phenomenal year last year, right? But you got to prove it this year. You got to prove that this year, that last year was not an anomaly. You got to prove that this year it's like, no, you are that guy and that you belong. And so I think for the Seahawks, it's tough because, the NFC West, that's a tough division. It really is. But, what better way to prove it than through the chaos and through the fire? And so there's going to be a lot of physical games like this. But, hey, to stay alive late, that's, you can't really ask for much except a win. But beside that, that's some pretty good football right there.
Good, entertaining TV.
Absolutely.
Good TV.
Let's move to Denver, where we had another really physical game between the Tennessee Titans and the Denver Broncos. Broncos came away victorious 20-12. This was, again, physical. But I was impressed by Cam Ward. I thought that he really stuck around and hung in there for the Titans, but ultimately, hey, Denver in Mile High, that's a tough place to play, especially for your rookie debut. But CP, I'll start you off with this because I know we spoke a little bit about Cam Ward last week. What were your thoughts on this one?
I'm sold on Cam Ward, man. He is a professional out the gate. I feel bad for him because he really doesn't have much of a receiving room. You go back and watch those highlights, he is putting that ball on a rope and giving it some heat. He as a rookie, he is one of the strongest arms I've seen come in a very long time. He has a gun on his arm. But these receivers, it's catching them in the chest and they can't get it. It's putting them in the hands and they can't catch it. It's dropping. It was 4 or 5 consecutive drops on a potentially game-winning drive. I feel for Cam Ward, but that's the other side of the coin of being drafted first overall. You're being drafted to a bad football team.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, that team is bad. That is why they got the first overall pick. So that is the other side of that coin. And he even knew it throughout the preseason and whatnot. He said, we're mid. We're not that good. So he knows there's going to be growing pains, but he's willing to work through it. And you can see that. There are a lot of glimpses of some magic with him.
Absolutely. Kev, what were your thoughts on this one?
Just like CP said, he already knows that it's an uphill battle. What we seen out of him, the debut, was amazing. And let's not sleep on the defense. They kind of, with Sean Payton and his craftiness, the Titans didn't look a little bit flustered. They were catching interception. They were making Bo Nix not comfortable at all. And it showed that they had good football skills, even though they had the odds stacked up against them. It was a great game on both sides. But I feel as if that there's a lot to be expected, and we're waiting to see it from the Titans. Cam Ward is. I'm gonna go on Cam Ward as well.
It's funny. We're all sold on Cam Ward, man, and none of us are Titans fans. But man, he looks good. He looks really good in the NFL. Last thing I'll say, Dre Greenlaw looks really good in the Broncos uniform. Just saying.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
Just saying. Maybe it's to your benefit, Kev, that he's still not on the 49ers.
Thank you.
Oh man, let's move to Green Bay, where this was a one-sided division rival game between the Packers and the Lions, and the Packers came out victorious 20-12. But man, it was all Packers all day, and Micah Parsons, man, he looks good in a Packers uniform.
Yeah, he does.
He looks really good.
Yeah, he does.
CP, I'll give it right to you, man, because I know we talked about this one, but what were your thoughts on this one?
I agree with everything you said last week that the Packers, if they weren't Super Bowl contenders, they really need to be in that conversation now because that defense is on a different level with Micah Parsons there. But on the other side, is it trouble in paradise in Detroit? That's the question to ask. Because guess what? Kevin and I, we spoke about it briefly. You get rid of 2 gears in a working machine, what happens? Eventually, that machine is going to break down.
That machine's broken.
They got rid of 2 coaches in that regime.
Mm-hmm.
They are a totally different team.
Damn. Just like I was saying before, some teams have to adapt, and there was a lot stacked up against Goff that game.
Oh yeah.
And remember, you get worried after you have a team that thought they settled down with a decent quarterback. Decent running back game. They were able to deal with most things enough to try for 2 points because they're sure of it. And then you see that game, it just seemed like on offense, they didn't have their legs. They couldn't break off huge runs. They couldn't. Amon-Ra, somewhat quelled. And if you can quell a receiver that consistent, then you know that there's something up. Jared Goff is used to not having time in the pocket, but I seen him. He's panicking.
He played scared,
but he didn't do a lot of turnovers that were too egregious. But it just felt like it was a hurried game, as well as an exciting one.
Yeah, and to your point, he played scared. It looked like he played scared, because the pass rush of the Packers just kind of had that. They were just a half tempo faster, and that half tempo makes a difference. That's a second or 2.
Absolutely.
And those 1 to 2 seconds, that makes a difference. And it's going to be. I feel for the NFC North teams, man, because especially I'm looking at Chicago, right? Caleb, you're gonna get eaten alive by this Packers team. like the Bears gave up 68 sacks last year. Micah Parsons might have 20 on the first game against the Bears.
Oh my God.
I'm exaggerating, but you know what I'm saying. Like that defense looks. Green Bay looks like a complete team.
Yes.
I'm excited to see them going forward because AFC North plays the NFC North this year, so we're gonna have a lot of really good physical games this year, and I'm excited for that. Let's move to LA, where we have the Houston Texans who took on the Los Angeles Rams, but the Rams stayed alive. Stafford took a little while to get his feet settled, but Rams ultimately won 14. This was a very defensive game between these two teams, but that doesn't mean it wasn't entertaining because there were a lot of highlights, a lot of really good plays, but this was a defensive matchup between these two teams. Kev, what were your thoughts on this one?
I just want to pitch this question out there to you guys. What do you do? CJ Stroud, with all those weapons gone, he's a good quarterback. But would he continue to keep up his success? Is this all it takes to beat the Texans? Because the Rams are good at, the Rams are really good. I'm not gonna shortchange them at all. They're a great organization. But I feel like, I guess it's a little bit too early. Let's just wait until he has all his weapons back healthy before I accurately judge that Texans team. An injured Texan is I guess it's a dead Texan. So I feel as if that there's a lot more football to be played, so I can't accurately say anything more than it was a good game to watch for the both of them.
Very well said, Kev. CP, what were your thoughts?
Slow start for Houston. The absence of Tank Dell is absolutely being felt still.
Yep.
Now, again, that injury to Tank Dell very well may take his career. That is still up in the air. If it is still up, it was said earlier on in this offseason that he probably won't play this year. So that's going to be something. That's something that has already been accepted, and they have to move on from. The regression of CJ Stroud is almost expected a little bit going into his next season, but I do hope that this is not a sign of severe regression. Week 1, shake the jitters off, go into week 2 with a clear head, and start fresh. But if once is an anomaly, twice is a pattern. We'll have to see how he plays and how the rest of the team plays. If the team plays flat and they play deflated, like they've pretty much been playing since that Tank Dell injury, I think you can almost see the writing in the sky for what's going on with Houston.
Now the Texans have to try to keep up with the Jags and the Colts within their division. So the AFC South just got a lot more interesting this season. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen, what's going to unfold going forward. So let's move on. We have 2 games left. Sunday night primetime, Ravens and the Bills. What a classic, man. Bills won 41-40. I'll keep it brief as much as I can. Objectively, that was a fantastic game to watch.
Absolutely.
That is in contention for game of the year. And I will say that right now. Like, that is contention for game of the year. But goddamn, 17 blown leads by the Ravens under John Harbaugh.
Yep.
15-point lead.
Saw that today.
15-point lead that we had in the fourth quarter, and we fucking blew it. Kev, I had a bet with one of my friends for a case of beer. He messaged me after we got up 40 points. He's like, how much you want for that case of beer? I said, hold off. I've seen this before.
I've seen this story before.
Wait till the end. And lo and behold, they get another touchdown. Derrick Henry fumbles.
The voodoo.
And I'm just like, it's 38-40. And I'm just like, motherfucker, this is happening again.
It's about to happen again.
It's happening again. And it happened again. It happened again. But I can't. The one criticism that I wish we would have done differently, I can excuse the blown, like the points and everything like that. The one thing I wish we would have done differently, when it was 40-38 with 1:50 left after the 2-minute warning, it was 4th and 3. Bills had no timeouts left. 4th and 3, I would have gone for that. You get 3 yards, you win that game. And we've seen it before with Lamar and Harbaugh. They have done it before. Against Seattle, they did it against the Chiefs 3 years ago. And I think that, look, Henry was cooking all night. Lamar was making scrambles. Josh Allen and Lamar looked like fucking superheroes. It looked like fucking...
They really do.
Yep.
It looked like Batman and Superman just going right at it. Like, just the best of the best. 3 yards, I think they should have gone for that. Now, this game is probably going to decide some tiebreakers later down the road. But, man, as of this moment, that's game of the year. Despite it being a Ravens loss, that's football. That's a football game right there.
That was a really good football game, for sure.
I agree. Honestly, it felt like both teams had no limitations. Whatever they wanted to do to entertain the crowd, to get more points. It could be a draw play. It could be an I formation. We're running this way. Derrick Henry was running that way and he's pushing you that way. It felt like, and Lamar was very accurate.
Mhm.
It was a lot of good wild card draw, like passes, plays, and it felt like Josh Allen under projected what the Baltimore Ravens. So when the game started, Josh Allen had an interview and he said, he was so casual. It was more or less, just another day's work. And then the game started. And then you just start seeing the Ravens score and then score and then score. And then once it got to 40 points, I even thought, personally, I'm at work at that time. I thought, you know what? It's over. You don't have to worry about it. Josh Allen underprojected and underachieved as usual. To the good teams, he would always do that. But when he's up against like the Giants, he'll just make sure to put them in the dirt a lot more, securely than what he does. But I felt as if that voodoo happened. And I'm a big Instagram person, and I started to see the memes as soon as he looked up at the goalpost. Once they were trying to do the kick, the extra point kick, it missed.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it just seemed as if that it was like a snowball effect to the Derrick Henry fumble, which was not likely.
Mm-hmm.
Not likely at all. He hasn't fumbled the ball, never jostles, and he's always very, secure. But then obviously the ending of the game was very, surprising at that.
Mm-hmm.
To see that they actually could go through with it. But when you give a team like the Bills a chance, of course they're going to score.
Mm-hmm.
From what they've done in the past, it seems like once they get on a little snowball, they just keep going and going until it succeeds.
Mm-hmm.
But both teams played well. Your team is unstoppable. I wish we even had a glimpse of what the Ravens had on offense and defense. So I wouldn't even take this as anything more than just, we'll get them next time, because you guys got 2 rounds to decide who has home field advantage in the playoffs.
That's the thing. It's like this is probably the first of a second matchup this year, which is crazy to think about.
You see, and
This will absolutely be played again in January.
Yep.
100%. I have a growing issue with John Harbaugh and his decisions on 4th and short. I don't know where the conservatism has come from. You have one of the most stacked backfields in the league. 3 yards should not be a question. First of all, you have a running back that will not go down with one person. It just won't happen. Teams have had to adapt their to the point where if you don't put 2 helmets on Derrick Henry, he will break it for a big run. It's just what it is. One person's getting stiff-armed into oblivion. 2 people, he's still probably stiff-arming one of them. You need 3, 4, 5 people to even have a chance at putting him on the ground. 4th and short, you have to go for that, especially if the opposing team has no timeouts. You have to do it. And that's something that John Harbaugh should know at this point in his career. Like, that's something you should know, knowing the teams that you've had over time. At this point in your career, you have as good as your defense is, you have a much better offense than you do defense. And clearly at this point in time, the momentum is shifted, not in your defense's favor. You have to see the game of chess shifting, not in your favor. So you got to keep the hot hand on the field, and the hot hand was your offense. To not do that is totally detrimental. And I don't understand how John Harbaugh just doesn't see it.
I think, to me, the only way I can kind of get into his mindset is like he wanted to put confidence in his defense where it's like, go win us the game. But in all reality, it's like, look, I would have given it to the guy who had 170 rushing yards that game.
Give it to the 240-pound animal we have in the backfield.
That's just me. I'm not an NFL coach. I'm just a fan of the game. But from what I saw, Derrick Henry had his way. And it seemed that after that fumble, they just didn't go back to Derrick Henry. And shame on Harbaugh for not doing that. And I put that loss at Harbaugh's feet. And rightfully so, because Lamar played excellent. Derrick Henry played excellent, even with the fumble. Zay Flowers. Phenomenal game. Right. Last thing I'll say, the final drive where Josh Allen was marching down the field, you know who he was picking off and who he was targeting? Jair Alexander.
Oof.
And that's something that Jair's got to work on, because Josh Allen, he was cooking him on that matchup. So Ravens have a lot of work to do going forward, but man, this was probably a classic for the ages. I'm sure this is going to be going down in there.
Where was Mark Andrews?
Oh, no, come on, man. He dropped those passes in January. We ain't looking to him. But you're right, though. He was very absent that game. and we should have been looking to him a little bit more.
Because if they couldn't trust Henry with it,
Hmm.
why wouldn't you trust Mark Andrews?
I think
It's why wouldn't you trust your offense?
sometimes
I
the
understand.
blinders are
I understand the idea of you got to give the defense the confidence,
Mhm.
right? They need the confidence boost but your guys are literally losing this game currently
because of our defense. We can't
because
stop Josh Allen.
because the defense is not. You cannot stop him in the fourth quarter. He found an overdrive tank and decided to hit the gas. The game's trying to end off, and he's like, this game's nowhere near over yet. And your offense is willing to match that energy, but your defense is starting to get tired. You have to see that as a coach, especially moving forward, and especially in January, because Buffalo's a different team in January.
Absolutely. So long as they're not playing the Chiefs.
Yep.
But what a great game. Final game of of week 1. Minnesota Vikings in Chicago to play the Bears. Another fourth quarter comeback by the Vikings to come away with the win, 27-24. We talked about this today, and it's and Kev, I want to see if you're on the same wavelength with us. When difference between Caleb and JJ is their mentality and their attitude, because when the going got tough for Caleb, he folded. He folded very, very fast. But when the going got tough for JJ, even after the pick 6, he shook it off. And he was resilient. And that was the difference there. If Caleb made a couple layup passes in the fourth, Bears would have won.
Yeah.
But in his mind, he already lost. And in JJ's mind, he's like, we did not lose. We're still in this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a quarterback's attitude really determines the outcome of the game.
That and a couple missed passes to DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Let's not act like his accuracy is he's not a rookie.
He's not?
He's not a rookie. What are you working on in your offseason if you can't hit those?
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference between that was the difference between the game. I'm not even gonna let that slide. Then he tried to kill him in the next play by giving him a straight shot. And I was like, is he going to get off? Is he going to get up? He's laying down because you put him there. And that was the best option for you guys. Who called? He's seen that. Just like you said, it's a mentality thing. And after you want to win, I don't know if he wanted to win so bad that he was so mad at himself for missing a wide open touchdown pass to DJ Moore. Mm-hmm. But he played solid throughout the whole game until the pressure got on. Mm-hmm. Where, just like you see, like you said, J.J. McCarthy just tucked and ran. He didn't make any crucial turnover decisions. He knew he had his weapons, and with that young, hungry mindset, came through with the win. I appreciated that play. He looked like they made a good choice to let Well, no, I'm sorry. I love Sam. let me toss it back at him. Put Sam back on that same offense, and they would have been as close at all. But that's this.
CP, what'd you think of your boy Caleb?
Wow, this side of the fence is getting a lot of people. I was the unpopular opinion last year that Caleb Williams isn't it. People called me crazy. It took 1 week. It took 1 week this year to turn the tide for a lot of people. Now, there's a lot of I saw some signs of growth in the Chicago Bears offensive line throughout the course of that game. I fell asleep. I know you have some skepticism with them still. By all rights, they are still a bad football team. They have a lot of growing to do as a team, but there are glimpses of progress in the offense. There was a couple of sequences that I saw where the offensive line was able to stand up the defense on Minnesota and create a real formed pocket for Caleb Williams. With that being said, Caleb Williams is still taking 4 to 5 seconds to throw the ball. You cannot ask the offensive line to do that. Caleb Williams is still panicking when he has to scramble. You cannot do that as a professional. As a professional, you cannot have in your scouting report that you cannot play under center. As a professional quarterback, to tell me that you cannot run anything under center, think about all of the packages that are under center. That is fundamental football. So now you take that, you take your panic on the side when scrambling, and now there's a new narrative being formed that you're hard to coach. Now there's articles coming around saying that you're seen walking away from coaches as they're trying to tell you stuff. You're looking at them crazy in the film room when they ask you situational football. As a sophomore, this is the way you're walking? As if you've done it already. Meanwhile, you have a sophomore who hasn't played a snap prior to this week on the other side of that field, coming in and ready to hand you your ass in the fourth quarter. You are needed for 60 minutes. The minute it was no longer easy for Caleb Williams to play, he threw his cards in. We're done. I can't do anymore. You gave up. How can you build a franchise around someone who gives up? When it's not even out of reach. The game is still yours to win. And you gave up.
Yep.
How can you wrap a franchise around that? I've never been sold on him. I may never be sold on him.
I know you ain't.
You like to say I will be?
He's like, I may never be. I'm like, you'll never be a fan of Caleb. He's like, I don't know about never. I'm like, no, you're never gonna be a fan of Caleb Williams.
It depends. No, it's dependent on his growth as a player. If he can show that he can be coached, if he can show that he can adapt, and show that you can learn play schemes that are fundamental to the game of football, you will have a longer career in this sport. But if you go throughout the rest of your career, however long it may be, without learning 3/4 of every playbook, doesn't matter which coach you have, you got to know how to play under center. You can't play under center for a single snap effectively, you will see yourself on the bench and out of the league before your rookie contract is up.
And that's the sad truth. That's the sad truth. But hey, that was well said, gentlemen. That was very well said. And that was an excellent recap of week one. There was so much great football there, and I appreciate all your knowledge and insight to week one, because I want to get that for week two, because we got some great games for week two. Now, before we get started, Kev, is that a dog that you got next to you, or a cat?
Oh,
This is a cat.
This is a cat.
You got a cat?
This is
I saw the tail. I was like, oh,
his name is
Oh, look at him.
fluffy boy. What's his name?
His name is Zeus.
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 I love it.
He's like, what are you doing?
Hey, he's more than welcome to be on the guest panel. Eh? Just say it.
Absolutely.
I love it. Kev, let's get right into week two, man, because we have a very interesting matchup between the 49ers and the Saints. Your team, against the 49ers. And correct me if I'm wrong, you're going to be at that game in New Orleans, correct?
Yes, I'm making my journey down to the first time ever to New Orleans so I can eat the lovely food. I'm going to have beignets. I'm going to have crawfish. I'm going to have alligator bites. I'm going to have po' boys. I'm going to have everything that my heart can take, because it might have a heart attack with all the salty seafood that I'll be eating. But I can't wait. It's been a dream of mine to go to the Superdome. And I just wanted to see, if I can do it it's going to be my birthday on the 14th. So that's probably going to be the best birthday gift that I go ahead and enjoy.
That's awesome, brother. Happy almost birthday.
Thank you.
And hopefully
Thank
the
you.
Saints, give you a win that day. That'd be a great.
Man, you can't ask for everything. I'm there. And that's all I can say. I'm healthy and I'm there. But, win or lose, I'll be happy that I got a chance to enjoy the state, at least.
Absolutely, man. And I hope you have a wonderful time. Let's just start going right into the game. And let me ask you, what are your expectations for the Saints going into this game?
What I expect to do is I want the Saints to come into this new week with an accurate identity. Let's not say, let's use our pieces accurately. Let's not just say that we have a great running back. Let's not just say that we have some receivers, because they're good receivers, but they're not the best. But let's try to make it a cohesive. Imagine it like having a melting pot and knowing that this is what soup is. And then taking all these ingredients before you make it into soup and then eating them separately. That's what it seems like. Sometimes we might, because when Kamara scores, we're all excited, but how he scores and how long it takes for him to get down the field is not just himself. Because how we show our looks are very direct. If we're going to go for a play action, it's non-disguised, as if that we had that opportunity to say that we don't care if you know it to run, we're going to run. Because Kamara is not Derrick Henry. It's not, and we can't afford for Kamara to be out again, because we suffer with penalties as well as injuries throughout season after season. It just hurts us even more if we're not as solid as we should be. So I was predicting for the 49ers to win indefinitely. But as we've been discussing and as we've seen last week, there's some key factors from the 49ers that are not 100% in question. Christian McCaffrey, you know what I'm saying? That's a big one. We have on defense. I know Bosa is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Rattler might see him a lot more often than I would have wanted to see. But hopefully he knows that he's going to get hands put on him and he can tough it out to then make more responsible throws because we cannot falter, even though we have a lot of pressure coming our way. So it's a home game. Let's make our home opener because our season opener was decent, but let's make our home opener acceptable. Let's not lose by too much. But I think I'm gonna hope for us to win.
I love it. I love the optimism, man. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't last week in New Orleans against the Cardinals as the home opener?
Was
I
it?
believe
It
so.
was in Arizona.
I thought it was in Arizona.
No, that was
Let me see, I'll look.
in New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, that was in the Superdome.
Yeah.
That was in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That was in the
I was
Superdome.
mistaken. So it looked like we had a good chance if we didn't play, at home. But I was blinded by the lights. I was blinded by the lights, brother. And like I said, hopefully we can redeem ourselves then.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of putting up a same showing, let's just use the Superdome to our advantage and make better corrections to where we lost last week against the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Containment is key. We can keep. Because Kyler Murray is going to be a little bit more elusive than Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
And Brock Purdy could be a little more injured than Kyler Murray. So let's just hope that we can use some of these checkdowns as advantages.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can secure the W with good defensive play rather than offensive blunder.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that well said. And for their sake, I hope they keep it close.
Yes.
Just so it's a very competitive game throughout. CP, what are your thoughts on this one, man?
Lay it on me. Give me the truth. Give me the truth.
I'm sure you guys talked at work, so I'm curious to see what you guys discussed.
There's a lot to unpack
Rip
here
the
with
Band-Aid
New
off.
Orleans. There's a lot to unpack here with New Orleans, and it starts with the identity thing. The last bit of identity left was Sean Payton, is from what it seems, and that's the unfortunate reality. The saving grace right now is still Cam Jordan, but he is the only silver lining that I see right now coming out of New
I
Orleans.
put Demario Davis
Unfortunately,
No, Demario Davis has not been himself as he usually is. He's normally more aggressive, more involved, but his age is showing.
It is true.
during the recap, I actually wound up going in and looking up. Taysom Hill is still out on an ACL injury from week 13 of last year. So I'm not sure when he will be back. It is actually pretty sure something was put in his contract for a deadline for him to come back. I didn't look that far into it. That's what I saw briefly. But it goes further than just the players on the field. Again, it's break down to the fundamentals, the tackling, the pursuit, the overall conditioning. It's just there's a lot of problems in New Orleans right now, and there's a lot of question marks next to everything. What's next for Chris Olave? What's his future? What will be your identity? Are you guys going to be a running team or a passing team? Are you guys going to be a defensive-minded team? Who's going to be the guy to take the torch after Cam Jordan ultimately retires, probably at the end of this year, being in year 12? There's things that need to be answered before it blows up in your face. The next big one is Spencer Rattler the guy? You say no. What does the front office think? What do they think about him? Alvin Kamara, he's not who he was. You're going to have to think of someone to replace him. So you guys are on a very slippery slope where he made a pretty bold prediction that you guys will win one game this year.
I did.
It's not the most, if that's the case, I hope it's the game you're at.
Yeah, I know. Right?
You know what I'm saying? No Brock Purdy, no George Kittle, no Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
And I thought I was mistaken. Wasn't the Bosa brother that was on the 49ers, isn't he now a Bill?
No, that's Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa from the Chargers.
Yeah, Joey from the Chargers.
Yep.
Okay. I always get them mixed up as to who went where. But again, they're better at tackling. The problem with 49ers is they have no goal line. So your only saving grace is if you can get down the field and get into the red zone. If you get into the red zone, you'll probably be able to get into the end zone. But that's asking a lot.
Do we
coming
have a play
from.
for that?
But this is one of the times where you have to look at simple progress. Can Spencer Rattler get the ball out on time? Is the offensive line staying on sides? Can we do hard counts? Can we disguise our plays? Can we do things that fundamentally we should be able to do as a team? No moral victories, but you always look for growth and progress and potential for and again, just learning situations and being able to become a unit. Like you were saying, we don't know, you guys don't know what you are. You're pieces of a puzzle. It's time to start fitting where those puzzles go so you guys can start acting and moving as a team. And if you guys pull away with this win, maybe that'll be the kick in the pants Spencer Rattler needs.
It's possible, right? And I want to start off by saying, look, I was kind of impressed with the Saints last week. They did better than I expected them to last week. I expected them to just roll over belly up and just be like, get torched. Because, Cardinals have a lot of ways to kill you. Through the air, through the ground. And for the most part, I saw a lot of silver linings. But that's what the Saints are, is they're just a team of silver linings at this point. Their pass rush was pretty good. They got 5 sacks on Kyler.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Cam Jordan's still that dude. And, he made a really big sack early on in the game for a massive loss of yards. He's still that dude. Pass rush is good. Secondary, not so much. That's the issue. So, it's, again, silver lining is, you got a good pass rush, but, on the back end, it's hard for the cornerbacks and the safeties and the linebackers to keep up with these fast young players, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for them. Like, even if McCaffrey's not there, even if Kittle's not there, Ricky Pearsall is still a good wide receiver.
Yeah, Pearsall was a good wide receiver.
Yeah, he's a good wide receiver.
I liked him.
Like, Jawan Jennings, not too bad either. He's pretty good. And I think, and again, they're young. And they're fast. And that's going to be hard for the Saints to really kind of keep track. And Kyle Shanahan, he's great at scheming up. Like, just great schemes. That West Coast style, man, it's like, look, it's the same plays over, but he's going to give you different looks every time. And look, and Demario Davis, and I like Demario Davis, right? But it's like, but it's going to be hard for him to keep up
anymore.
Exactly.
He can't keep up.
Exactly.
Tight ends run rampant. On the Saints defense all the time.
Yep.
Trey McBride was getting
not hard to see
last week.
Third down, when you need to stop, when you can play well on defense, but when you need to stop, penalties working on our favor. 15 yards backfield. How are you consistently, after trying to get a 3-and-out, converted for first down? And it's always either a missed tackle, lazy tackles. I see lazy tackles, arm tackles, and it's not the fact that they're not getting there. It's just that when they get there, they pretend they're not in the NFL. Put some hands on him. Put 2 bodies on him. Don't just trust that the first body's gonna stop him because you watch them. I'm not sure if the guys are watching the tape. I'm not 100% sure if the guys are watching the tape anymore. Was it Dennis Allen on defense that needed to energize you? Was it because you can't keep relying on what CP said? Cam Jordan may be in his finale season, and he looks young. He looks sprightly. He's the reason why we got aggression towards the ball on defense, and it seems like no one else has the same enthusiasm, the same oomph, and that's why I brought up earlier in the conversation. Where's Chase Young? I feel like we keep adding more people onto the roster that easily get hurt or easily can slack off. And now we're expecting for other players to pick up the slack. And yes, this is an organization. Those are two gears to run the machine. But we can plan ahead just in case. Why don't we have somebody on the bench that can step up, that we've scouted, that we put time and effort into the offseason, that we've progressed onto something else, more than just, a bench warmer. It's just that time. How many seasons is it going to take? And I'm speaking to multiple other Saints fans, and everyone is unanimously, I guess you could say, in a state of bliss, where they don't want to realize the walls have already closed in, and all the projections are true. And we're not just looking for just a quarterback anymore. We tried several quarterbacks. It just seems like now it's more of a shot that we lost our soul.
Mm-hmm.
And in a city that is nothing but soul. I can't wait to experience. It just seems like it's not my Saints anymore. But I'm holding out. I love the Saints culture. Let's just hope that we can regain our identity.
You see, it's hard to be critical on your own team. So I appreciate you being as critical as you are. Truly, I do. It is very hard to be critical of your team, especially when they're playing poorly. It's very easy to put up the walls of ignorance, right? For the Saints fans that don't see the problem at hand, it's the same problem that a lot of franchises have. It starts at the top. It starts with ownership, and then it goes to management, and then it slowly trickles to the field. Poor contract signings, massive deals. Remember, they signed Derek Carr to a massive deal, so now they're going to be in contract purgatory for a while.
Yeah.
With him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They also gave Cam Jordan more money, so that's more purgatory. They gave Kamara another massive deal. Chris Olave they signed. So they signed players that they deemed key players, and that's respectful. But they did not take the value of the time left in their careers into account. And then you bring in a player like Chase Young. Now, I've had a soft spot for Chase Young in the past. He is becoming notorious for being the guy who takes plays off. That is not someone to pass the torch to. And you can tell, and knowing who Cam Jordan is as a player, that is not someone who he's going to do that willingly. So he is going to continue to abuse his body until he finds
somebody else,
a potential suitor, walk into that building and with the same mindset and same pride of being a Saint. Because there's got to be some pride in being a Saint. And I don't see a lot of it other than inside Cam Jordan and Chris Olave. Like, there's a couple of people who were proud to wear that uniform.
Yep.
The message hasn't gotten to a lot of these guys that are on your team at the moment. It's the same issue that we have with a lot of young guys in Pittsburgh, where they feel that the colors are deserved versus earned.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pride that comes in wearing a New Orleans Saints jersey. There's a lot of pride that comes in wearing a Baltimore Ravens jersey. There's some pride that comes in wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. But you have to earn the respect to be able to say, I've earned this uniform. Right now, no one in New Orleans has earned that uniform to say they are a New Orleans Saint.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the newcomers.
Yeah, the new ones. Yeah.
So it starts at the top. There's got to be pride and ambition throughout. And it's got to be done smart and aggressive, not just aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right now, it's just aggressive in New Orleans, and it's falling on its face.
And I just want to piggyback off that too. So, Kev, like the first thing that you said when we started this segment was identity, right? And the identity of the team, and just to establish something, right? But it's important to know who can answer that question of like, what is the identity of this team? I think there's two people that can at least give an answer that will be answered come December, January. That's Mickey Loomis. Because we didn't say his name, but like he is the guy who's making these decisions, right? And Kellen Moore.
More now, yeah.
And right now Mickey Loomis has his faith in Kellen Moore to give that identity to the team. Whether that comes to fruition, that's yet to be determined. But those are the two people that can give an answer to the Saints' identity crisis. And I've been to New Orleans, actually. I went to New Orleans 4 years ago, and it's a great city. And there's a lot of fun to be had there. And believe me, man, I hope you enjoy every bit of food. Also, get gumbo. The gumbo is great down there. But you will see that on every block that you turn, there's Saints flags everywhere. These people live, breathe, and eat New Orleans Saints. They are some of the most loyal and dedicated fans in all of football. And Saints fans like yourself deserve a lot better, because it's ever since Drew Brees retired, it's just been purgatory. It's been a lot of roller coaster up and down. You know, you had, what was it? If I'm not mistaken, last year you started 2-0, right? And then just boom, got slaughtered the rest of the whole season.
Slaughtered the rest of the season.
Yeah, and it's not for lack of trying, right? But I think it's a lack of personnel and identity. Was Dennis Allen really that guy? No. Is Kellen Moore that guy? That's yet to be determined, right? And I think that, look, just out of week 1, the fact that they could have won that game gives me a little bit of optimism. And I know you say Spencer Rattler's not the guy. I gotta say, he throws a very pretty ball. He
Decent.
that thing's on a rope, like to just wherever he's going. And it's like, is he in the best environment? Probably not, because the Saints are still kind of. It's like, look, you have again a lot of great players in certain areas, but it's not a complete team, right? Pretty soon, come December, your wide receiving core is just going to be fans that you pick out of the stands, right?
Yeah.
It's
come work for us.
And it's like, well, if you give me the jersey, yeah, I'll catch some balls, sure. But I think that, look, this is the rebuild. This is going to be the rebuild, and it seems that from a lot of the articles that I've read, a lot of analysts, I mean, including myself, I mean, I don't consider myself an analyst, is like the Saints are going to be at the bottom of a lot of people's tiers and a lot of power rankings. The Saints are going to be at the bottom. And obviously as a fan, that's not what you want to see, right? But I think that Kellen Moore, you're giving him the opportunity not this year, but next year, to kind of really get his guys that he wants, his rookie guys. And that's where the Saints, that's where you're going to have the most value out of your players, is your rookies that you have on rookie deals. You pay them for cheap, but they produce at a high level. That's where you really get because again, you're in cap hell right now at the moment. You have signed all these big contracts, and that Derek Carr contract set you back a while.
$10 million.
So I'm a fan of Derek Carr, and that contract was stupid.
That contract was ridiculous. But
he took another page out of Michael Thomas's book, I believe.
Yo, Michael Thomas is schmoozing you guys.
Oh my God.
He's gonna make $100 million off you guys. He's played 2 years.
It's cereal. Dealing with his turf toe.
He's dealing with his soreness in his back.
He's dealing with no. He's dealing with his back injuries, man, because his wallet's just so fat, man.
I know.
But
fucking $8 million a year for 10 years.
Can't believe this shit.
Those stupid contracts, man, that falls on the feet of Mickey Loomis, and it's like, and to what you said, CP, right? It's got to be smart and aggressive. It's got to be 80-20 smart to aggressive at this point.
You're 100% correct.
Sometimes it's the Saints, since Drew Brees has retired, they have tried many different avenues, but have not committed for the long term. And
not a single one.
And that's the thing, is they try different things. If you never have the same barber, right, you're never going to get the same haircut, right? You got to commit. You just got to commit to, it's like, look, if you're going to tank this year, which it looks like it is, you got to do your homework on who your quarterback is next year. If not quarterback, who the rookies that you're going to get the most value out of.
Of course.
And I personally, I'm a big fan of Alvin Kamara. Palmer can vouch. I've really liked him from the get-go. They should trade him, if possible, right? Because not a lot of teams are going to want to have that contract of his. But man, he proves his value. Because
yes,
and that's the thing, is like a team, that's dying for a running back. Maybe they're desperate enough, but maybe it clears up that cap space, right? But obviously, you're not going to get that breath of fresh air in one off season. It's going to be a progression. It's going to be a process. It's going to take time. It's going to take hell before you get to heaven. And so right now, this season, it's going to look like hell. But man, I hope that by the end of the season, you guys make the smart decisions. And by you guys, I say Mickey Loomis and Kellen Moore.
Oh yeah,
it's those two.
Oh yeah. Hopefully that we don't go down without a fight, because if we never fought, then we don't know where to improve. Mm-hmm. So we keep on saying, are they watching the tapes? Let's just hope that they're living it this time, instead of just pretending that they have their eyes in a tunnel. Mm-hmm. That they're just one track. They don't see the problems. They just keep doing what they're accustomed to doing. Hopefully that this Kellen Moore can see our strengths and then try to build on them. Mm-hmm. If we do in fact have to trade up, I swear to God, hopefully not. Of Kamara, but let's just see let's see what's going on before the trade deadline. Let's see if any mistakes are made or any benefits are gained
Mhm.
before we're able to say that it's over. We're never going to win any games for the rest of the season.
Maybe I'll amend my bold prediction. Maybe you win 3 games.
I'm gonna shake the magic conch.
Yo, he's pulling the magic conch out.
I look, 49ers are a tough matchup, right? They're a good team. They're a well-run organization, right? John Lynch he's a great GM. Kyle Shanahan, he's a great head coach, and he's going to have his guys prepared. But if the Saints can be competitive, that might. Hey, at least for your sake, man. I hope I hope it's not a blowout. I hope it's not like the Colts and Dolphins 38.
At the very least, I hope it's close. Not like a leave at halftime game, dude. That would suck.
You're gonna see me. I'm gonna be the only one in the stands.
Right, you'll be there left.
What jersey are you gonna wear?
I'm
gonna enjoy this if it kills me.
I'm just happy to be here. I'm not gonna wear a paper bag over my head yet. Not yet.
The Aints.
Not yet.
Oh, he's calling paper bags. Oh my God, he's calling paper bags. If they are that bad, you got to come on a second time with a paper bag on your head.
They're gonna play. They're gonna ban me from ever coming back.
No. They might just give paper bags once you walk in. It may be provided there.
We had a paper bag on here last year. Do you want to? We had a paper. A buddy John, John Conti in security.
Really?
Yeah, he came on the podcast and he wore the paper bag. Yes, he did. So if the Saints are as bad as the Jets were that year, you got to come on with a paper bag.
Oh my God.
Start a paper bag trend on Let's Talk Football.
For sure. When you see me, I'm gonna have that paper bag cut up.
Love it. I love it. He had tears. He drew in blue tears.
Yeah.
Gonna have those golden tears for the Saints, man. Those black and gold.
That's awesome.
I love it, man. And again, for your sake, I hope this is a close game. But any final thoughts before we move on to the second game for this one? I know that there's a lot, and I know we can go even deeper. But
what I would love to just end out with is let's hope that the little bit of growth, what CP was saying, sprinkles on Rattler from what we see. So John, because just like you said, it wasn't a bad game for him. I did see a little bit of improvements. I didn't see a lot of egregious throws. Let's just hope that he can continue rolling out and giving the ball accurately to what receivers we have left and not get them hurt. Let's keep Olave out of the ER. Let's just say that.
Oh my God, man. Well said too. CP, final thoughts, my friend, on this one.
Just be physical, be competitive. Please, just more than one person to the ball and figure out how to tackle.
Thank you.
Just figure out how to tackle, and it'll be a better game than what you had.
I mean, if Spencer Rattler does not perform going forward, I'm sure we'll be seeing the lovely work of Tyler Shaw.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know what change that would be, but hopefully it will be in the right direction, I guess.
Maybe Saints fans down south have the same faith as Giants fans with Jackson Dart. Who knows?
The Holy
Drinking
Grail.
that Kool-Aid.
Oh man, I love it. But let's move on to the second game that we wanted to talk about, and that's actually one of your division rivals going to the north to Minnesota. So the Falcons and Vikings. This is going to be a very, very interesting matchup here, and this is Sunday Night Football, prime time in the dome. I'll say, Kev, let me start us off, my friend. How do you think this game is going to go?
Honestly, I feel like that I want Atlanta to take this one. I think that Atlanta will take this one because they are hungrier. Not saying that, the Vikings aren't hungry at all, because that rookie is, he's good. But I feel like just like with everything and how they played against the Bucks, I think the Bucks are more of a complete team than the Vikings right now. Mm-hmm. And if they could play as competitive as they were to Baker Mayfield and all those heavy hitters over there, then I feel like they can stop. If they can put hands or prevent Mike Evans from taking off. I'm not saying that Justin Jefferson isn't a better receiver than Mike Evans, but I think that it's a little bit more even match than you would think. Hopefully Kyle Pitts does what he did last week, and they take advantage of the young man Penix's legs, and they score a couple more rushing touchdowns, and then we'll start to have a different narrative about the identity of that team. Because we're used to Atlanta just always running in. I'm not even bringing up Bijan because we already know he's going to do what he has to do. Mm-hmm. But let's just say that the Vikings, if that he's a rookie still, if he can't listen to his senior members on his team, they might falter. That's why I think that the Atlanta Falcons might take this game.
I like it. I like it.
Interesting.
Very well said,
I
too.
like it.
CP, let me pick your
I
brain
like
here.
this matchup.
Yeah?
I like this matchup. When you first pitched it to me, I was a little skeptical because of the way Atlanta lost last week. But then I sat down to watch it. Like, I sat down to watch the highlights, and then I sat down to think about it. And it's like, these are two young quarterbacks that really have a lot to prove. And the question is, who really has more to prove? Is it J.J. McCarthy coming off of an injury? Or is it Michael Penix, who's now in year 3, hasn't really shown much the first 2 years, with a receiver who also hasn't shown much, but they're both seem to be emerging at the same time. Bijan Robinson is Bijan Robinson. Dude's a stud. With that came the evolution of the Atlanta Falcons offensive line, which is now allowing Michael Penix to throw the ball, in turn, which is allowing Kyle Pitts to catch the ball. So it's a cohesiveness thing in Atlanta. I think their identity is a zone running team with some really good slant routes. Flip it over to Minnesota. You have game 2, J.J. McCarthy with the ice cold fourth quarter comeback he had. But can you do that for 60 minutes? Can you play that way for 60 minutes, not for 12? Because you're going to need that against that Atlanta defense. Although there aren't many stars on that Atlanta defense, they're aggressive, they play together, and they have multiple people who go for the tackle at the same time. They have pursuit, they have tackling, they have defense, they have aggression. That is the Atlanta defense. Not many stars, but they all play hard. You have Justin Jefferson, who I will actually say is not better than Mike Evans. He is not.
Yes. He proved it with the 1,000 yard season. Mike Evans is a beast.
Mike Evans is the better receiver. I'm sorry.
He is a beast.
Yeah, I give it to him.
I don't know, not better than Jefferson, but
I think Mike Evans is better. But now remember, Adam Thielen is back like this.
Yep.
Oof.
I remember.
Yeah. Yes.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm remembers. Now, those journeyman defenders in Atlanta now have 2 assassins in the wide receiver room to go
Actually,
against.
3.
Mr. London.
Jordan Addison, too.
Jordan Addison. And don't they also have a nasty tight end, TJ Hawkinson?
TJ Hawkinson.
TJ Hawkinson. So they have a full plate
And Aaron
on
Jones in the
defense.
backfield.
But Jones.
I totally forgot Aaron Jones is a Viking. I totally forgot Aaron Jones is a
Last
Viking.
year, yep.
So Atlanta's defense has a full plate. But now on the back end of that Minnesota defense, the only one who's really left is Harrison Smith. But you put Harrison Smith on Kyle Pitts.
Drake London.
Mm-hmm.
You have someone underneath. And then now you have Bijan Robinson. This is a lot closer of a game than people I think like to put on. And then you also have the unicorn in Young Hoku. That boy don't miss.
Yeah, he don't.
Except when he did.
Except when he did.
Did you not?
That turned the league on its head. I don't think anybody expected him to. Again, I don't think anyone expected him to miss a 38-yard field goal.
Nope.
38 yards,
Right,
and it moved that much. It did not move at all. So he just missed that by a hair. Do not expect him to miss many more 38-yard field goals in the rest of his career, let alone in the next season. This game, I'm actually very excited for because I do want to get a really good look at J.J. McCarthy and see how he can play for a full game against a team that has the same aggression and hunger as him. But now it's a full team effort on the other side.
Absolutely. These teams match up well against each other. And I could see why
they
they
do.
put this on Sunday Night Primetime, right? Again, it's like you said, CP, the young guys, who needs to prove it more, right? Who really needs to showcase more? And in Atlanta, it would be very interesting, the rise of the Falcons post Matt Ryan, post Dan Quinn. Raheem Morris, he seems to be a little bit more conservative than Dan Quinn is as a head coach. But if he found his guy in Michael Penix, man, that would be very, very interesting because Kev, I picked the Bucs to go to the Super Bowl this year in the NFC. They're my Super Bowl team, but I mean against the Ravens, and Ravens beat them. But if the Falcons can challenge the Bucs for that division, it makes the NFC South very interesting. It makes it very competitive, and
yes,
that's what that's what, obviously, as football fans, we love to see that, right? We want to see competitive, close games, and you couldn't get any closer than that game last week between the Falcons and the Bucks. Like you said, CP, like that much, that much, right?
Right.
Like that was the difference of the game right there. It's like, man, if the Falcons can stay in these games, they might be a team to watch out for. And again,
Yep.
they have one thing that I was looking at when I was watching the highlights of this game is Michael Penix has great chemistry with Drake London. He has
Yes.
established really great chemistry with Drake London, and he's not dependent on Drake London, but he knows it's like, okay,
Cohesive with him.
they're on the same wavelength. And for a young quarterback, when your wide receiver one knows exactly what you're thinking, it makes going through the defenses that much easier. Oh, and by the way, you got Bijan in the backfield.
And you can run.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you can
He can run, he can catch, he can literally do everything, right? And so this Falcons team, despite losing last week, looked really good. And I was very impressed by that. And, and I could say the same thing for the Vikings too. I was more impressed by the resiliency of JJ McCarthy, because to me, it feels like no matter what team is going to get ahead, their lead is not safe, because both quarterbacks have a winner's mentality of, we're still in this, we're gonna win. And for teams that are led by young quarterbacks, that's what you love to see, man. You love to see that. You love to see that they're never out. Shake off whatever turnover, interception it is, doesn't matter. We're still in this game. It's a 1-possession game, 2-possession game, doesn't matter. We're still in it. And we could be seeing a lot more of these guys going forward. And I really liked what I saw with Michael Penix. And I really like what I see with JJ McCarthy, because these two, again, both have a lot to prove, but man, it looks like they both belong. And that's what I really like to see out of this matchup. Also, big X factor here, safety for Atlanta, Jesse Bates. We can't sleep on Jesse.
Unbelievable player.
We can't sleep on Jesse Bates, because he was
all over the field.
He's all over the field, and he's a smart player, man. He's a smart safety that's like, he reads the offense. He's quarterbacking the defense all the way in the backfield as a safety. And like, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets an interception on this game, faking out JJ McCarthy and stuff like that. He's going to be a difference maker on that Atlanta defense. And ZB, I know you mentioned Harrison Smith too. I love Harrison Smith. He's one of my favorite players. But man, is he getting old though? Much like,
dude, I think it's year 12 now for him.
Yeah, and
so this may well be his last season too.
And much like what we said with going back to the Saints with Demario Davis, right? It's like, they have it here. They have all the knowledge in their brain, right? But can they keep up? That
consistent,
right?
That's the struggle right there.
Play after play, can you stop this young receiver
for 35 plays or more
consistently?
Yep,
60 some odd snaps you got to do it for, and I don't think Harrison Smith can hang out. I don't think he can hang anymore like that.
I think I would not be surprised if this is a light show of a game, because it very well could be, because both offenses have so much talent on the side. It's going to be a great challenge for both of their defenses. And I'd be surprised if we go into the third quarter coming out of halftime and it's like 10-7. I'd be surprised. But both teams have the capability to put 30 just on sheer talent alone. But can their quarterbacks lead them to that? That's the real question.
That's the race. It's who has more to prove, who has more to play for. And it's like you said early in the beginning of the show when we were talking about Caleb Williams. It's a mindset. Who has that mindset of I belong here? Now we've seen, I said it before, the maturity jump with Michael Penix is undoubted. He has gotten a lot more mature between last year and this year, and you can see it in his game. JJ McCarthy's coming out the gate mature.
Yeah.
Because he already witnessed how easy his career could be taken from him before he can play a professional snap.
Sheesh.
So he already got that last year. Didn't even play a professional snap, and he tore it. It was in the middle of a fucking practice. He tore his ACL. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even get a live rep in.
Forgot about it.
And then forgot about it. And then he came out the gate knowing what's at stake now. I'm excited. This could really turn into a game of the week potential.
It very well could. I'm excited for this one. Any final thoughts on this game?
I'm good.
I'm waiting for the game. I'm waiting for it to be a slugfest.
I hope, man. I don't think we'll get 41-40 again, but
You never know.
You never know. Yeah,
Maybe 27-21.
Yeah, 27.
That would be, that seems more like their ballpark.
Mhm.
27-21, 28-35,
that'd be
one possession game across the board, but we'll see.
also just fun fact before we make our picks. The Bills-Ravens game, that was the first time ever in NFL history a score ended 41-40. Never happened before. Scoregami. Yep.
Really?
It was
That's nice.
That's
it
new.
was a scoregami. Crazy.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
That's interesting.
But little fun fact there. But gentlemen, are we ready to make some picks for the week?
Hell yeah, brother.
Kev,
Hey, let's do it.
you ready? Let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
Let's do it. Let's start Thursday night. Washington Commanders go to Green Bay to play the Packers. Kev, who you got for this one?
Green Bay.
Ooh,
Mm.
off the jump.
Be quick on that one.
I feel like I would take the upset because we know that the Commanders are coming with that high-powered offense, and we know Jaden Daniels is Jaden Daniels, but I don't see too much deviation against the Cheeseheads. The Cheeseheads have a solid team, and remember, they know who they are, and they know what they just did,
Mhm.
and I just don't see the Commanders walking out with the W there. So I'll go Cheeseheads.
I like it. CP, who you got?
This one's tough. I think you're going to have to give me the Packers at home. I'm going to go with the Packers as well, but it's going to be a lot closer of a game than I think people realize. This is going to be a 10-round fist fight.
Oh, man. Look, Green Bay is loaded, right? They look like a complete team. You look at their offensive side of the ball, they look stacked. You look at the defensive side of the ball, stacked. And, man, Micah Parsons in prime time against Jaden Daniels, it's going to be tough. But Jaden, he's mobile. He's very versatile, and he's very resilient. And he's very smart, too. So I think they both match up very well. But give me the Packers, man. From what I saw last week, these guys just look...
It's hard.
These guys look prime.
Too much. Too complete.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to vote against them right now.
It really is. It really is. So, okay, we're all going Packers. I love it. Let's move to Sunday's slate of games, going with the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. CP, I'll start with you. Who you got for this one?
I guess give me Dallas at home. This is going to be an ugly game. This is not going to be a fun game to watch on either side.
Check. Kev, who you got?
Same. I mean, they're playing with this inconsistency. The Giants really are gonna just have Russell Wilson play himself into retirement, and it started last week. I'm sorry, the Cowboys will win.
I'm with you guys as well. I'm going to take the Cowboys as well. I'm not going to overthink it. Cowboys just know how to play against the Giants, no matter who's starting at quarterback. And, man, that offensive line for the Giants just looks like Swiss cheese out there. Oh, man. Let's move to Pittsburgh, where the Seahawks come to town to play the Steelers. CP, I'll just start with you, my friend. You got your boys?
Yeah, but again, I'm keeping my eyes out for if that second shoe fucking falls and then Aaron Rodgers shows his true colors.
It might be a little
Don't
while,
sleep on him. Never know.
but you never know. But,
Stay vigilant.
Kev, you got your man Sam Darnold for this one?
I was about to say my man Sammy D, but I'm wise. I'm wise to it. I like your team, CP. You guys are gonna win. We're not gonna play around and say just because I love one player, I ignore the full team. And I think your team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, have a way better chance to come through with a victory.
I'm going to go with you guys again. I'm going to go with the Steelers. But I want to see the Steelers be the ones to dominate the line of scrimmage.
We have to run the
Gotta
ball.
run the ball. And we talked about this on Sunday, where it's like the Jets were winning at the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball.
For most of the game.
Steelers got to do that. Steelers got to show that at home that they can really put foot to throat and be like, okay,
Right.
we are that team. So I'll take the Steelers as well. Let's move to Tennessee, where the Los Angeles Rams come to play the Titans. Kev, who you got?
To be honest, it's going to be a closer game than what you would expect because of how the Titans performed. but Matthew got into rhythm afterwards. Rams.
I like it. CP, who you got?
Give me Tennessee with the upset.
Spicy.
At home, Cam Ward's got another full week of practice underneath him, and you can tell he's a professional. He's a locker room guy. I would hope he would at least get a message through to one of his receivers to catch a ball late in the game.
You would think, right?
You would hope.
Oh man, I'm gonna go with the Rams on this one. I just think that Rams defense is really good, and for the schedule makers did Cam Ward no favors by giving him 2 tough defenses in the first 2 weeks. That is tough, but man, if he can come out the other side, even they lose this game, come out the other side, everything's going to be gravy at that point. Because it's like you already had the hardest defenses that you'll probably face, right? So I hope for his sake, he learns, he develops, but I'll still take the Rams to win this one. Let's move to the MetLife, the ACL and Achilles tending stadium, where the Buffalo Bills take on the New York Jets. Kev, who you got for this one?
Josh Allen. Okay, once again, they almost beat the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget, but that is one of those teams that do you consider the Jets as an underdog against the Bills? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Josh Allen will stomp on them. If they were more of a leveling field, then we'll have more of a competitive, score and score kind of game. But I think that the Bills have it. You just got to say by statistics that they have to win.
CP, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Bills, but if the Jets keep this in one possession, heads are going to turn, and that is the truth.
I agree with you on that.
If the Jets keep it within 7 points,
The whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The final score is a 7-point deficit. Heads are going to spin, and everyone's going to be like, what the fuck is happening with the Jets right now? Because that would be one of the best losses they could possibly take this year.
Now, CP, let me ask you, what if the Jets win? Do heads just explode?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Pun intended?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But hypothetically, if they do somehow upset the Bills at home, that may be a bigger upset than Ryan Fitzpatrick upsetting Tom Brady while he was a fucking Tennessee Titan.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you don't know, now you're looking at it like, look at the game that the Bills just had to struggle to win.
The Jets had a struggle too, so they're both coming and limping into this game.
Exactly. Hard games. What key factors would have gotten them the W? Was it
Josh Allen?
Exactly.
He's the only ace in the hole.
Thank you. It's all Josh. If Josh doesn't play up to his standard, they're going to lose.
I think I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm not going to overthink this. But I do have concerns about the Bills' defense, especially their run defense. Because I know Breece Hall's not Derrick Henry. But Derrick Henry, like, those holes were coming to him with ease.
At will.
Will. If the Jets can run the ball on the Bills, shorten the game, and give Josh Allen limited snaps, limited possessions, we could have ourselves a game. But I'm not going to overthink this. I'm going with the Bills.
They don't do well with misdirections because look what Lamar was doing.
Oh, yeah.
And if Justin Fields can do the same thing, you can't chase them both. You can't chase them both.
This could be a very ground and pound style game for the Jets, and it could be close. Hey, anything could happen in divisional games. And hell, the Jets won against the Bills when Aaron Rodgers blew out his ACL or his Achilles. They somehow won that one. So I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but Jets can be competitive against the Bills. But let's stick to the AFC East. We have another AFC East matchup between the Patriots and the Dolphins in Miami. CP, who you got for this one?
Give me Miami at home. I think this is going to be a get-right game for them. But at the same time, I'm keeping my eye on New England. Again, they are fast, they're physical. I like the Mike Vrabel message that's in New England right now.
Okay, I like it. Kev, who you got?
I don't like how Tua performed, so I will try to go for the upset just this one time. We're not trying to say anything more than if Waddle was a little shooken up too in that game. He came back, they said, but then no real production at all. If Tua can't get the ball to Tyreek, then what do they have? Just Tua. Mm-hmm. So I feel like let's just go for the upset on this one. Let's say the Patriots.
Wow, I like it. I'm going to go with Miami on this one. I think that this has to be a get-right game for Dolphins. Because if it's not, I think we're going to start seeing the end of the McDaniels Tua era in Miami.
I agree.
And this is, again, a divisional game. You need to win it. Kind of at, based off last week, they're kind of at the same level. Patriots scored a little bit more points over the Raiders, but, I'll take the Dolphins, not confidently, but we'll see what happens. Let's move to Cincinnati, where we have the Battle of the Cats between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cincinnati Bengals. Kev, who you got for this one?
The Bengals, of course.
Okay.
The Bengals will win because Joe Burrow is still Joe Burrow if they protect Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
So Jamar Chase has to have like a chip on his shoulder for being locked down last week. And just getting the freeness of the Jaguars defense that's probably going to let them do whatever they want. Let's just hope that they get down the field when they can. So I think that the Bengals.
Nice. Okay. CP, who you got?
I fucking hate the Bengals, but they're going to win this game. I fucking hate the Bengals.
I'm
Fuck
with
the
you,
Bengals.
CP. Fuck the Bengals, but I'm going to take the Bengals on this one. The thing I want to see, can the Bengals protect Joe Burrow from Josh Allen Hines and Trayvon Walker? Can they protect them? Simple enough.
No.
No one can.
Okay, it's already been answered.
This man gets sacked 6 times in 2 games. Let's see. See if he gets sacked another 3 times.
He's built like a rock, though.
Yeah.
He's like 4 tough.
All rocks crack, my friend.
I know.
Oh, man. Let's move on to the Big Easy with the game that we, that was on our minds, the game that we had to discuss, the San Francisco 49ers versus the New Orleans Saints. Kev, who you got for this one?
Gonna say the Saints because I gotta have faith.
Gotta have faith.
I know I can see the lights in front of me. And I'm gonna sit here and pretend I can't see it all. And say the Saints will win, hopefully.
That word's doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
I'm manifesting it.
There's a lot of hope there.
CP, who you got?
Sorry, Kev. Sorry, Kev. It's the 49ers, and
It's not going to be close.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys see the end zone, it'll be a lot. I'm sorry.
I'm sitting in the middle of the field, so I get this. I'm gonna close my eyes if it gets a little bit too close.
Kev, they may ask you to play wide receiver for this game, so just be ready.
I might be their only help.
Bring some sticky gloves with you, fam.
Oh my God, Kev, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take the Niners on this one, but
You got you.
And again, this is the rebuild, right? This is it. And for your sake, again, I hope it's a close game, and I hope it's a competitive game, and I hope you have a lot of fun at this game.
I'm gonna eat my pain away. Okay, I'm gonna eat my pain.
There you
I'll
go.
be thinking of you watching.
Take
this
it out
game,
on the
man. I'll
crawfish.
be
Can we get a
thinking of
big
you.
game, please?
Take it out on the crawfish, fam. It's okay.
Shit.
So tell the Saint Pope I said hi.
Oh shit. Okay.
Man, let's move to Baltimore, where the Cleveland Browns, Joe Flacco, returning to Baltimore to play the Ravens. I'm gonna take the Ravens, obviously, but CP, who you got for this one? Does Joe Flacco get his revenge game?
That would be a sight
It
to
would be a
see.
sight to see.
But I don't think so. As long as you guys don't go up by 20, I think you guys will win.
Yeah. You got to just win by 3. That's it. Just win by 3.
Don't go up by double digits. Don't go up by double digits, because then you're gonna lose.
Man, Kev, who you got?
Of course, I have the Ravens. Of course,
I appreciate it.
I'm not gonna second guess you guys. Myles Garrett he might have some touches, but he's gonna get tired chasing after Derrick Henry all day.
And Lamar.
He's gonna get tired. So let's just keep it as scheduled performance. Scheduled programming. It's done.
I like it.
Ravens.
Shit. Okay, let's move to Detroit. Chicago Bears come to play the Detroit Lions. Kev, who you got for this one?
Detroit Lions.
That's
They snap back out of it. We're done with the Bears. We're done with Caleb Williams. He's done. Let's just go ahead and have Jared Goff give his redemption game, and let's have them start the second week like how they should have started the first.
I respect it. CP, I already have you marked down for Detroit. I don't think that you're picking the Bears at all this season.
No, I'm probably not. I don't think I don't think I'm going to be shown a reason to say that they can win a game. So again, they have someone playing quarterback who doesn't know the fundamentals of playing quarterback right now. It's just unfortunate to watch because I do have a soft spot for Chicago as a team. But at the other side of that coin, I am going to be taking a deeper look at Detroit because they don't have their coaching regime. So it's a different Detroit team going up against the same ship pile that is the Chicago Bears. But yes, give me Detroit.
I'll just make sure that for every week going on, I'm just gonna just mark the other team that the Bears
L,
play.
L,
L, L, L. 17. Who would thought? I'll take the Lions.
One man.
One man.
One man thought it.
Man. Let's move to Indianapolis, where we have the Peyton Manning Bowl. The Denver Broncos versus the Indianapolis Colts. This should be a very good game. Kev, who you got for this one?
That's going to be a hard game to judge. In my head, I'm saying it's Peyton. He's gonna go ahead and realize his faults. They're gonna correct Bo Nix. They're gonna go ahead and he's got the first game out of the way. He's gonna be unjittered. I see as a wild card. I'm gonna say the Broncos. I'm not convinced completely yet that the Colts are going to win. That's not something that I'm going to back myself. If I had money put on it, I would say let's bet on the Broncos.
I respect it. I like it. CP, who you got?
Yeah, I think I would have to agree. I think my money is on the Broncos. The consistency of Bo Nix and the cohesiveness of that team is more trusting than Daniel Jones. He had a good week. Daniel Jones is still Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Until further notice, he needs to show consistency in his play throughout.
I totally agree with you guys, but I'm taking the Colts.
Hey.
Surprises happen, and I just like the way that they looked. Shane Steichen, the offense was never his struggle, but defense has been. And it seemed like last week the Broncos had a very tough time on offense to put up points. I mean, they were also very fortuitous that they had Cam Ward, a rookie quarterback, starting his first game. But give me the Colts. It might be a reactionary pick after last week, but fuck it. I'll take it. Let's move to Arizona, where we have the Carolina Panthers coming to town to play the Arizona Cardinals. CP, who you got?
Pretty tight-knit matchup here. I'm actually going to go Carolina with the upset.
Ooh. You almost got Kev out of his seat.
Yeah, no, give me Carolina with the upset here. But it's going to be a very low-scoring affair. Unless I'm totally wrong and Kyler Murray is about to fucking steamroll this team. But, we'll see. I'm giving Carolina with the upset.
Kev, you also rolling with the upset?
You know what? To be honest, I'm gonna go with the Cardinals winning, only because of the fact that Marvin Harrison Jr. he played well,
yes,
and Trey McBride, he played well as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like they have the opportunity if Kyler Murray is able to do what he has been doing on his legs, just like how he initially came to the league and shocked everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That he's gonna be able to trump Bryce Young, and they're not going to go anywhere. And let's just be honest. I don't want Carolina to win anything. If we're going to lose, I want them to lose too. So I know that for a fact that Kyler Murray is going to come through with, taking out another NFC South person.
Now, Kev, let me ask, do you want them to win so that you lose and then get a higher draft stock? Do you want to... Is that...
I wouldn't say all that. We're not giving up yet. We're not giving up yet.
We'll talk again in week 5.
If we're gonna lose, let's lose with some dignity.
Respect.
Until about week 5.
Respect. I'm gonna take the Cardinals on this one too. CP, I like the boldness of taking Carolina, but man, Bryce Young just looked like he regressed, and it's going to be hard for that Panthers defense to stop Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr.,
James Conner.
Yeah, so it's going to be a handful for them. I'll take the Cardinals.
Is Zach Ertz still on that team?
I think so, actually. I think so, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have my phone on me, so I can't.
Yeah.
Kev, you got your phone on you real quick? Or no?
Check if Zach Ertz is still a Cardinal.
Right now.
If he is, Trey McBride and Zach Ertz, it's a pretty good tandem.
He is on. You said Zach Ertz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is on the Commanders.
Son of a bitch.
Okay. Damn, okay.
Son of a bitch. All right.
So they don't even have him. So.
And they got Trey McBride. They should be good.
Yeah, they have him. Yeah,
Let's move to Kansas City. Super Bowl 59 rematch. Eagles Chiefs. Kev, who you got, my friend?
In Arrowhead.
In Arrowhead. Yep.
In Arrowhead.
Yes, in Arrowhead.
No, I think that if the Cowboys could at least compete the Chiefs will snap back. I think the Chiefs.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. CP, who you got?
Give me the Eagles. Kansas City starts out.
I like that though. I want it.
However, let's keep in mind Andy Reid wins 90% of his games at home in September.
That is true.
I will take the Eagles with an upset. That is an upset. That's not even a favorite. That is an upset because it's Arrowhead and it's fucking September and it's Andy Reid.
I expect the Eagles to give the Chiefs the same test. We're going to play two high safeties. Jalen Carter's not going to spit on Patrick Mahomes. We're going to have pressure on our front four with our complete front four. But the cornerbacks still concern me a little bit for the Eagles. Chiefs look like they need a lot more help than just Patrick Mahomes being magical. I'm taking the Eagles. I think, CP, I'm with you. I think the Chiefs go 0-2, and then they go to the MetLife and play the 0-2 Giants, and then they get back on track. But
it's an ugly look.
Yeah, but that's also Sunday night primetime, if I'm not mistaken, for week 3. But we'll get our ourselves. I'm taking the Eagles, but I think this is going to be a good game. Possible game of the week, but that might fall to our Sunday night primetime game, Atlanta and Minnesota. Now, Kev, you said you were taking the Falcons. Are you stamping it, sealing it?
Stamping it.
Woo, I like it.
I'll stay 10 toes down on that one. I like that. I like Michael Penix. And let's just see if he has the grit to go ahead and go the full distance this time. He had a taste of it. Let's see. That's all I'm saying.
I like it. CP, who you got?
This one's tough,
It is
dude.
tough.
This one's
Very
tough.
evenly matched teams.
You have to give me the Falcons too, man. I think at this point in time, I think the Falcons are the more complete team. More so on the defensive side. Again, having an aging Harrison Smith, not having many other players on the front seven, on top of having a fresh quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a lot of chemistry to be born in Minnesota, and I'm excited to see it. I just think there's more chemistry in Atlanta.
This one's tough. This one's so tough. I'm taking the Vikings. I like what I saw on Monday, and there's just something about that momentum, man. And it's going to be tough to stop the loaded weapons that they have on offense. Maybe Justin Jefferson's not as good as Mike Evans, but he's still, I think he is. I think
He's a
Justin
savage.
Jefferson
He's a beast.
He's still a
He's a
savage.
Man, if he gets one-on-one, taking it.
It's over.
I'm taking it. So I'm taking the Vikings at home, and that's a tough place to play, too. So let's move on. We have 2 Monday night primetime games. We're going to have 2 going forward from like now, maybe not next week, but like now to week 8. We're going to have one on ESPN and ESPN Plus.
Okay.
So we have 2 Monday night games. We'll start with the first one, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Houston Texans.
Bucks.
Yeah, that was quick, Kev.
Damn.
I don't know what possessed Baker Mayfield in the last 2 seasons, but that got a full. The man was possessed by Brett Favre or something. I don't know. I wouldn't say Brett Favre, but I think
He's a much better teammate than Brett Favre.
I think he shares the ball a lot better. He has the vision of somebody who's seen hell and now he's come back.
Mhm.
And I feel like he plays like, you see how when we were talking last year about who is gonna be the person to rally the team to bring them together, Baker actually in the locker room is that voice.
Yes.
He's that same Baker that you've seen on the Browns time and time again, hyping up the crowd, getting everybody pumped up. I think that alone.
He was that in Oklahoma. It's who he is.
Exactly. I think
I like it. CP, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna double down with the Bucks, but I think this is gonna be a very close game. I think the Texans do come around and they finally start their engine, but I do think the Buccaneers are gonna walk away with this one.
I'm going to triple down. I'm going with the Bucks. I'm sticking with my NFC Super Bowl pick. And CP, I got to admit, at first I did not think that the absence of Tank Dell would be that impactful for the Texans last year.
Oh, it's huge.
But I see it. And I see it, and that's something that you were absolutely right on. That not only for his presence, like as a producing wide receiver, but also like in the locker room, man, because they love him. They love him there in Houston.
You can tell his absence is totally felt, and that sent a shockwave through the team.
Yeah, and I will gladly say you were right on that one, and you were one of the first people to see it. But I'm taking the Bucks for this one. Let's move. Second Monday night primetime game: Chargers versus Raiders, AFC West.
Okay.
Kev, who you got?
How about this? I'll just be straightforward. I like Justin Herbert as much as I like Sam Darnold. And I'm going to go ahead and pick, I see a more complete team with Keenan Allen back on the offensive line. I mean, as a wide receiver. And he has a lot more confidence in himself. I think Herbert last season wasn't himself. This season, it seems like he got more of his thing back. His it factor is his height, and beat as is made the last play of the game when he realizes, hey man, I can run too. Imagine that again. So I think Geno Smith is gonna be. It's not as easy. It's not. You know what? It's not as easy as I'm saying it. Even though I do like Herbert, the Raiders played with heart, and their defense and offense shined when they needed to get the job done, and they made it seem as if that it was easier than it was. But I'm sure that they're gonna go ahead and excel. But I still think the Chargers. If I was gonna pick, I'd say the Chargers.
I respect it. CP, you gonna double down?
This one's a lot tougher than I think people understand. This is a coaching battle that's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Harbaugh, Pete Carroll. But now let's keep in mind who had time off from the pros. Jim Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
Pete Carroll's been here the whole time. It's a different
Well,
mindset.
he took off last year. Let's keep that in mind too.
Last year, but he wasn't gone for years. 9 years is a lot longer than one season.
CP, it sounds like to me you're taking the Raiders.
I think you're going to have to give me Vegas on the upset.
On that one?
And now Justin Herbert does have his swagger. Raiders have the master of swagger, Max Crosby. That man's got some swagger too.
Yes, sir.
If there's ever
And
someone
if
that
Justin Herbert's going to be running around, Max Crosby going to chase him.
And,
if ever there was someone to be born to be a Raider, it's Max Crosby. It really
Max
is.
fucking Crosby.
Man, I like this matchup. And I agree with you, this is going to be very close. But I'm taking the Chargers as well. I'm taking the Chargers with you, Kev. I think just Herbert, he's special, man. And again, like you said, CP, he's got to prove it. And it's like, look, you're on Monday Night Primetime against divisional opponent. Tough matchup. You got to prove it. Got to do it again. Got to win these divisional games. Now, before we cut to the end here, Kev, I do want to ask you, who's your Super Bowl pick? I don't think we asked you last year, but I'm curious to know, who do you have go in the Super Bowl this year?
Give us two. Give us your likely and give us your bold.
so this year, likely, let's just say likely, I like the Ravens. I want to see you guys win. Finally, you guys put belt to ass countless times on several different hard opponents. Let's make sure. Come on, man.
We got to finish. We got to
Come on.
prove
What
it.
more do you guys need? I can't see the golden spoon be passed out to everybody else. It's not even silver anymore. It's gold.
Mm-hmm.
Can you win it for us, please?
I'd love to.
And who's on the other side? Likely. Who's the likely on the other side?
On the opposite end, hey man, it's hard to stop. It's gonna be hard to stop them Eagles.
There it is.
It's gonna be hard to stop them Eagles. Okay, so let's just hope that you guys can stop them because I don't know who else can.
So now, what's your bold prediction? What's your two teams that's a bold Super Bowl to you? I wonder if it's the same.
It's funny because I've the one that you said last week, CP. I've heard a lot of other people say that too.
I
And
know.
I've also heard a lot of what Kev, the
Eagles,
matchup
Ravens.
that you said, the Battle of the Birds. So I've it's funny. I've heard a lot of bold and likely ones too. So I'm curious to see where your mind's at here.
If you would have asked me any other day, I know that they'll probably be the same. It'll probably be the same because or let's just change out and let's say the Bills.
Okay. And what about on the other side?
Same way on the other side. I'm sorry.
Go on. Say it. Say it.
I want to say.
No.
Say it.
He can make his decision. You don't gotta hang him on, CP. You have free will. God damn it.
Do it.
Be safe. I'm just saying the Eagles again.
Ooh.
Let's say
Okay.
the Eagles again. It's hard. It's hard to be. I want to see a chink in their armor before I can say anything else.
Mhm.
It's week one. I haven't really seen too many things with that. So they look so comfortable. I know y'all saw it.
Mhm.
Why is it so
Mhm.
easy for them to do that? And they didn't even use AJ Brown. Wait until AJ Brown gets active. I don't want to say, but it's too good of a team right now.
It's like Alabama in 2012. just so much talent. You don't have to play it. You don't have to be the best. You just got to do
Casual.
your job.
Yeah, just casually come on the field.
I respect it, brother. I
I
respect
love it.
Those are my picks.
Cool. All right, guys. There you have it. There's our picks for the week. There's our 2 games that we talked. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Kevin, please, happy birthday to you. Be safe in New Orleans. I will see you when you get back. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
To everyone listening, if you would like to come on to an interview, please contact either myself or John, and we will set you up for the rest of the season. But until then, week 2, here we are. Week 3, still to come.
Kev,
Thank you, guys.
thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful time in New Orleans, and happy birthday.
Yes, sir. I love being here. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.